welcome back to the House in Fata Morgana. Last left off, oh boy! So we saw the rest of the maid's story, but now we're almost like back in a loopish type where now we have to figure out how to rescue Giselle now from the collectors of Morgana. So that would be very interesting what we get to do now. My first crush was the son of a blacksmith. Huh? You missed the part when you asked what kind of guy he was. This is such a pain. And since you asked, he was a huge and muscular fella. He was so tall he would always hit his head on the doorway whenever he came to our shop. When we came to our shop. Oh. Nice, beefy guys. Really are great, huh? They make your heart get all fluttery and tight inside. Are you trying to imply I don't have a chance? Though I think that was more apparition than love. You know, the way a group of girls would all get together and fawn over a popular good-looking guy? It was like that. So you're saying the buff bastard was popular? Very much so. I wonder what love feels like. I'll never get a chance to find out before ending up like this. Huh? Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't want to get it all dark on you. Say whatever's on your mind. I don't deserve your consideration. It was my family that put you through that after all. Perhaps it is my recency that causes you to watch your step around me. Damn. Do you think I'm with something to say? When I was 14. Oh? You asked about my first crush. I know you had one. But tell me, what was she like? She was a daughter of the noble family. Her name was Ami, and she was a year older than me. Ah, love between nobility. A word I can only even imagine. It never went anywhere. What? You didn't even try to woo her? You didn't even you didn't shower in presents? Were you by chance a late bloomer master? She was my brother's fiancée. I see. So it's love that can never ever be realized. That's sad. No, not really. Besides, I don't feel anything about her anymore. What I felt then was just impulses. I guess that makes us both inexperienced. I suppose it does then. Awkward silence. Okay, gotta keep talking. Okay, I think that's enough of that. So it is. Sorry about that, eating something. See. You see what I was saying, Master? But this is showing a conversation. I know you better than I did before, and you and me. That's fine, oh well, but what do I do with that knowledge? You don't do anything with it. It's just fun learning things you don't know before. That's all there is to it. And what happens when there's nothing left to learn? That's a day I don't think will ever come. People are always changing and growing. There's no upper limit to what you can know about them. There's always something new to discover. Maybe we'll be here for many more years, or maybe we'll get to go home sooner than you expect. But either way, hope we can keep getting to know each other until then. Huh. And of course, if you're open to it, it doesn't have to end there. We can get to know each other after years to come. Huh? Hey now. Why are you looking away for? What do you think? Because you keep throwing me off balance. A few months ago, I was doing everything in my power to avoid her. Yet now that smile of hers seems so oddly enchanting. I don't understand. I will do my best. So that we can make this work. I'm so glad to hear it. Giselle, I was too awkward back then to even compliment you on your smile and to put my feelings into words. I was too cynical to accept what you said at face value, which I now cause you plenty, which I know cause you bleh. But I will tell you this, when I next see you, I want more than anything to let you know how much I adore your smile, and how much I don't want to lose you, or it ever again. Well, you're like decades too late for that. And centuries. You must never reclaim your old self. Become my loyal servant, always at my side, and curse them with me, my dears, eternally suffering on all their souls. My conscience wavering like a ship at sea, is slowly drawing back to the surface. With each new breath, feeling gradually returns to my fingers. I can hear the pitter-patter rain from somewhere, and the sound of crackling fire. It takes a moment for me to realize I'm in the very same spot where I first woke. I do not know how I got here, but I'm sitting in a rocking chair hunched forward. My head feeling like someone filled it with rocks and having difficulty focusing. My joints are creaking, and I feel like I'm going to vomit. A suffocating odor hangs over the room. What is this? Giselle? Giselle! Everything comes back to me all at once. That's right. I watched Morgana kidnap her. I watched the witch drag her into the darkness, unable to reach her hand. Where are you, Morgana? I know you're there, crackling as you look down on me. Say something, witch! I will find you. I will take her back. What on earth? The pool of liquid at my feet, rising just short of my ankles. It's sticky, uncomfortably warm. Every step I take, noise. This is blood. The match is taking on a very different face when Giselle was leading me through its halls. Blood of unknown origin not only covered the floor, but also streams down the hills and drips from the ceiling. I'm speechless, and as I behold the dreadful scene, every breath I take smells of rust. It's so unreal, beyond my comprehensions. All I can do is stare, feeling like that I might pass out. Giselle? Are you seeing this? The same twisted nightmare as me? I imagine it flowing along in a vast sea of blood, flashing through my mind. That vision kicks me into motion. I promise I will come for you. So please just hang in there a little longer. I begin walking, or more accurately, dragging my heavy feet forward. The constant splashing of blood against my ankles grate at my already taut nerves. Morgana told me to find a way to her, and I can only think of one place where she would be. She and Giselle must be there. The stained glass window is splattered with blood too. It creates trials like streams of tears raining down the arch-ankle face. I give the window a brief glance before making my way to the door leading to the observation tower. However, why won't it open? There shouldn't be a lock. So why? Luxurious black chains seal the metal door. I can recall no such obstruction present in either my life or my time of hers. What on earth is going on in this house? No, that's not important right now. What matters is making it through this door. Damn it! I pulled and I pushed, but the chains won't even give it an inch. They feel sturdy enough that I probably couldn't cut through them either. There has to be some way. But I'm convinced the tower is my best chance with more determination. into which ends of several chains have been fed. I fashioned a custom lock for this. Then, I have nowhere to begin my search. I lived here more than 10 years, and yet, it's not the same house. Searching blindly is only going to waste. Someone before who had a key. It was before I'd reclaimed myself. When I was exploring this mansion alone, think, Michael, think, who was it? The painting. Ooh, holy crap, look at that blood. And serene rural landscape only makes the contrast that much grimmer. I remember talking to this painting, assuming I wasn't hallucinating. I have a question for you. Are you awake? Can you hear my voice? Please say something. You reside in this house like the witch, don't you? You've been here with all this time, haven't you? Then you must know how to get into the observation tower. About the 3 keys I need to open up the lock. I need to get in that tower. Please, tell me where I can find the keys. Say something, damn it! Answer my question! I someone there. What? What's the matter? I feel kind of off, strange. Did the witch do something to me? Please get a hold of yourself. Everything's I can't stand it. I don't remember using that color paint. Raise my hand, trying to wipe some of the blood off the canvas as possible, but even as I smear with my sleeve, I alone get it off. You're wasting your time, but that counts. Anyways, you had a question for me? Go on, I'm listening. I guess the painting isn't on the witch side then. The door to the observation tower has been locked. I need to gather 3 keys, I think. That's my assumptions, since the lock has 3 keyholes. Do you know any such keys? And if so, could you please tell me where they might be? Keys! 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 Please say with me. You're the only one who can ask for help. Keys! 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 I'm guessing it's probably some way in some way in connection to her past. Or her past? You know, the events the witch is always cursing about. What happened between her and the 3 men? What happened between them? The keys are probably with those 3 men. The 3 shadows. You must see them. 3 men. Shadows. Find them. And you'll probably find the keys too. But watch yourself. They aren't likely to trust too easily. The depth of their sins grows greater the further you go. Visit them in order. In order. Then first, the first one probably won't be a problem. So tell me something. You're Michael, aren't you? What? I wanted to apologize to you for so long. Wait! What do you mean? Do you know me? Did you? What do you want to apologize for? Tell me! It's too late, Michael. The pain in my back. Could you be? But why? How? When everything else is finished, I'm gonna need to visit this painting again. But now I have another thing to do. The painting gave me a hint of where to find the keys. I don't know anything about the past Morgana has with those 3 men. I never asked her about that after all. So maybe I'm going to end him do more than simply take Giselle back. Has our involvement with the witch caused us to be swept up to a twisted maelstrom of fate? Regardless, I need to get to work, and fast. Paying a visit at work. I'm soon the 3 doors I've entered. Go outside to the rose garden. The very first door. I make my way to the rose garden. The corridor leading there is a mess. The wooden door is rotting away. I can smell flowers on the other side. Everything is different from when I was alive. For when Giselle planted and raised that single rose. Here we go. The rose garden. A scene for the press spreads out before me. The field of once proudly flourishing rose is now withered and gray. Knowing how beautiful it once been only makes that much more depressing. A bitter breeze pushed past me. Solitude hangs over the garden, like a thick fog eating away at me. This isn't what I wanted. Someone get me out of here. Oh God. Tell me, it's not all my fault. A young man shadow stands before off the side, muttering incessantly to himself. I recognize his voice. Do you have the key? The boy and I have never met, but I feel like I know him quite well, like I've been acquainted for many years. I know how polite and mild-mannered he is. I know how kind, how vulnerable, how human his heart is. However, very little the boy seems through me. This isn't what I wanted. Oh God, please answer me. Hey, please answer me. Someone get me out of here. Tell me it's not all my fault. Answer me, Mel Rhodes. I know that's you. Huh? As soon as I said the shadow's name, it turns to face me. I still can't make out much detail, but it seems slightly less tedious now. Who are you? How do you know my name? My name is Michael. I once lived here in this mansion. Mikkel? Michael. I know that name. I know very well. But something's not right. You look different from the Mikkel than the Michael I remember. I'm not the Michael you know. Our names simply sound the same. Mikkel. That makes sense. She would never come see me. I have a question for you. Do you have the key to the observation tower? I do. Would you please give it to me? I need to get into the tower. And what do you need there? There's someone there I need to find. That's all? It may sound like not much to you, but it means a great deal to me. You're not one of her prisoners then? No. I came here my own free will to find this person. Exactly. And then maybe you can help me. Help you how? Set me free. Convince her to release me from this place. Huh? I'm begging you. The anguish embodied from the boy's shadow is so thick it caused me to recoil. There's a thread of darkness, desperation in his voice. He's been imprisoned here for 100 years like Giselle. Promise me. You'll get me out of here. I even quit to judge whether that would have been a good decision or not. All I know for him in his time, the mansion during the era of Rose. I know nothing else of his life. I don't even know if I would be capable of keeping such a promise. Do I have the strength to save everyone other than her? Do you absolutely need the key? You won't agree to help me without it, will you? What? I dropped it. Over there. Huh? The boy pointed to a thick brumbling of roses. Despite the flowers themselves being wild, the thorns are still sharp. It was an accident, I swear. But I didn't want to scratch up my arm, so I left it there. It's my fault there are so many thorns. I realized I really wanted to hit this boy. Why couldn't you have just said so? Because I thought, if I didn't have the key, that you wouldn't help me. There's only so much I can do, regardless of whether you have the key. I cannot make promises to anything, nor can I be the judge of you. I see. I don't have enough information to make a decision. Cheap promises and spiritual kindness were only deserved to destroy the both of us. Now, will you excuse me? I'm going to retrieve the key. What? You'll never get out the thorns. I don't care if it's at the bottom of the ocean. I will have that key. You're wasting your time. I approached the rose garden, reaching out with my right hand. From behind me, I could sense the boy watching. First, I attempted to spread the tangle of thorns so I could put my arm in without injuring myself. But they seemed to be made of iron rather than plant. My efforts proved more fruitless. The only opening is barely large enough to fit my arm and resembles the tiny toothed mouth of a beast. Looking around the garden, I can't find anything that looks remotely useful. I guess the only option is reaching in. That's not gonna stop me. I leaned down and shoved my right arm to the thorny cavern. Immediately then began ripping my sleeve and gashing out my flesh. Blood spills down my arm. I'm long since dead, no longer human, but the pain still agonized. Still very much real. Still, she doesn't bleed. She doesn't feel pain. I'm not the same as her then. What does it matter right now? Focus on getting the damn key. Oh, God! Streams of crimson spread through the steel like tangle gnawing at my arm, like a ravenous animal. What the hell is the key? Thorny steams are twisted and layered so thick I can't see inside at all. As I dig around him, I start losing feel in my arm. It's an endless bulge of pain. Hey, get it out! You're gonna lose your arm. I will not stop until I have the key. Don't ask me for help. I can't even consider. I wasn't even considering it. The glove remains of my gradually fading sensation. I focus onto my fingers, praying even one of them brush up against the key. Damn it! But as much as I search as I dig, I can't find nothing as much as resembling a key. Which means it must be deeper than my arm can reach. Even so, I can't give up. Hey, please be quiet right now! Need to focus. I'm sorry. I do have the key, actually. What? You what? I'm so sorry. It didn't look like you were willing to even. Look like you were willing to even if I gave it to you. So, plus she told me not to give it to anyone. For any reason. Hold still so I can beat you. I didn't mean you any ill will. You most certainly did. I'll give the key, so please have mercy. Trembling, you feel the boy's shadow sticks out a hand holding a key. The arm I used to dig to the thorns so bloody, I can barely look at it. But it still feels functional. So I'll take the key with my right hand. Ta-da, a key. Ta-da, we got a key, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was easy. Why couldn't you use your other hand? That's gross. That's the idea. You're kind of a jerk, you know. That's a laugh coming from you. Do you have any idea how much that hurts? I know. I'm sorry, really. But hey, you're alive, so no big deal, right? But wait, can you actually say either of us are alive? Huh? I don't even know anymore. I do appreciate you giving me the key, though. Seems to be rather important to you, too. Hey, is this person you want to get back really worth going through all of this? She is. She is the one person who ever loved me. And she is waiting for me. I see. You know, I had someone that meant a lot to me too, huh? My sister. Which one? Which? The one with affectionate hair like me, huh? If you happen to see her, do something nice for her, please. That, I would say, is your responsibility. Yeah, you're right. But I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. And to tell her the boy pushed his sister away, for understandable reason, admittedly. But now he seems to bear no grudge for her. Or does something else happen between them? Even if it did, I don't have time to ask about. I'll be on my way. Alright, take care. I've only 2 more keys. Watch out, though. They're not the most friendly people. They'll probably be more enraged locked up like this. Hey, I appreciate the warning. If only someone like you had shown up sooner and taken the keys from us, huh? Goodbye. With fitting me very well, the boy's fan dissipates into the shadows of the rose garden. I wonder if it's gone back to mindlessly muttering his regrets. Huh. I should get going. Downstairs into the cellar. Oh shit. So we got the beast. He's probably right behind us, isn't he? I descended the stairs, opening the cellar's door. The first time I visited this room, the smell of blood from within was nearly suffocating. Now the entire house reeks of it, and I've started to go numb to the odor. There's no one here. Am I in the wrong place? Somewhere. What area? There he is! Hey, you! A shadow leaps out of the thick darkness. So, it's so swift I have no time to react. My body freezes in place. A shadow stands before me, holding a tip of a blade, mere inches from my face. A key. You have a key. I do, yes. A cold sweat trickles down my back. My voice is shaking and there's no hiding it. The shade appears to be glaring at me, though I cannot make out his face. After a few seconds, it withholds blade. Let me see it. The boy's key. Did he give it to you? In the rose garden, yes. Are you two acquaintances? How could that be, though? You're from a completely different era and country, and... Who? Hey. Who are you? No, never mind. Who are you is irrelevant to me. Are you human now? What? If you are speaking of my nature, there's no. Then no is the only answer I can give you. You didn't kill me, though. If you wanted to, you could have easily skewered me where I stand. If that's what you want, I can be happily to oblige. Huh? What did you come here for? For your key. I came to ask you if you give it to me. Ah, you mean to open that door? I need to get into the tower, yes. I see. Take it. Another key. The man's shadow tosses the keys at my feet. I'm not quite sure what to think. I don't expect to get him so readily. What? Take it. I won't stab you in the back while you're bending over. I thought you were supposed to hold it on to at all costs. I no longer have any reason to guard that key. In the past, I might have severed your head from your shoulders the moment you mentioned it, though. Huh? What point in the past? That's a question. I wish I knew the answer too. Hey, do you know why I'm here? Where is this place? When is it? When can I get out of here? What happened to me? Tell me. I have no idea what's going on. Not a single goddamn idea. Hey, neither do I. Get out. Take the key and get out of here. Get out! I can't believe there's anything great shadow, so I follow his command and pick up the key and depart in the cellar. Goodbye, you. Now to the den. I thought I was dead for a second. That makes two, though. What could have happened to these people? The painting mentioned a past with them. Morgana spoke of a wicked man. She cursed. Does that mean they did something awful enough to earn Morgana's spite? Right now, though, I must push onward. If I'm not mistaken, the final key should be in that room. The room with the billiards table. What is billiards anyway? I should get moving. Once I have this key, I can get to the observation tower. I am almost certain Morgana's waiting for me there. With Giselle. Should I gather my resolve or hurry to the last room? Mine to take even a second longer necessary to get her back. basically it's a pool table or something like that. I can hardly believe my eyes when I step into the den. The middle rooms are large rectangular table. Several balls rolls across the surface and preaching in one corner. Looking down the floor is her. Giselle? Giselle! The question is why she's here never crossed my mind. I feel it's an irritation to see her once more. There's no room for anyone else in my head. I know over to put my hand on her shoulders. Thank goodness you're alright. And turn her towards me. What? What? Giselle? Giselle! I shake her, causing her head to drop lifeless. There's not a trace of light in her eyes, and there's not a trace in her unmoving eyes. Why, Giselle? Why? Say something, Giselle. Say anything, please. This can't be. You can't be. You can't be. My mind goes blank. I can't catch my breath. The world is hazy. Why is Giselle? Why did I have to find her like this? Why? I swear I could do anything. I swear I could never lose you again. No, no, no. This can't be. A thought crossed my dazed mind. It's probably nothing more than a vain hope, but not a drop of blood spilled from my breast. That's right. You don't bleed. This can't be her either. This isn't her. Maybe Morgana has the power to alter Giselle's very nature, kill her with a flick of a wrist. I don't even want to think about it. There's no hope to what we found down the path. All I can do is pray, beg for her to still be alive, or if alive is the right word for itself. My prayers bring it back to reality, which is when I realize there's something hard pressed against the back of my head. A harsh, smash metal. What? Jacopo. A piercing bang rips through the ears as I drop down to the hard floor. My ears are ringing painfully. Through the cloud of smoke and confusion, I see a man's silhouette. Missed. Hey, I missed. It takes several moments to realize the object in his hand is a gun. Not only because it dropped in shadow, but because I've never seen one with my own eyes. Had I not witnessed what they were capable of through the stories, I would never understand how terrifying they were. Not a problem, though. I'll finish you with the next one. Now hold still, boy. Start running like a rat, and I can't guarantee you a painless death. Oh, wait, hey, wait! Hold on a second. Why are you trying to kill me for? Because you make too much goddamn noise. That's why. Don't tell me you're the one who... What? I turn my gaze towards a large table. Giselle isn't there. Must have been an illusion after all. Then the realization sends a wave of relief through me. I still have a gun in my face, though. Cursed man. Curious man, man you are. Does the table warrant attention more than me? I have a request. Can you give me the key in your possession? That's all I need, and then I'll leave and stop making a racket. I'm not sure you understand your predicament, boy. Because you think you're in any position to be asking favors? You're dumber than I look. Then you look. First off, I don't know what key you're talking about. I don't believe that. The other two had keys. You're telling me they gave you their keys. Sounds like they really do know each other. See for yourself. I believe you recognize these. Are you... Hey, are you collecting them to enter the tower? Are you going to see Morgana? There seems to be an tension in the man's voice. Though I can't see his face, I can sense the waves coming from him. A breakness of either rejections or hot lead. But the appropriation gives me neither. Take me with you. Wait, what? You have the other keys, don't you? And then you can open the door. Bring me to the witch. Wait, slow down. What are you planning to do when you see her? What do you think? She has has to. Huh? He's gone. She has to what? What was he trying to say? The last of the keys. Huh? On the floor where the shade stood is a new key. Curious though, I am about his last words. This makes 3. I have them all now. Holy shit. Are you trying to rile me up, Morgana? Are you drawing yourself up there, showing me these phantoms and watching me squirm? Just you wait. I'm on my way. I give them a brief once over before making my way back to Chep. One, 2, 3. The key fits perfectly in the openings in the lock, and when I enter the last one, it clicks open. The chain sealing the door follows the door. The waiting beyond this door on the top of the stairs. I start pondering what I even do and to face off against Morgana, which sends a nervous shudder down my spine. I'm not going back down regardless, but she is a witch, and I'm a mere human. Formerly human. I am not a master swordsman, nor do I wield a gun. And I have nothing at all with which to fight her. And I still confront the witch, though, no matter what. As laughable, reckless, as foolish as I may be, I have no other option. Place my hand on the door, preparing to climb the tower, or I could once spend my last breath. Giselle locked safely within the chamber at the top. The tower, where I first met the witch. No hesitations. Here we go. Ooh. The sound of blood streaming down the stairs echoes off the stone's walls. Although I began growing numb to the hours of the worldly or nomination, the sight of seemingly endless rivers of blood is flowing down a spiral staircase. It sends a chill down through me. Every step I climb makes noise. When I reach a window, I can see a churning, reddish black fog. Now this brings me back. Now this brings me back. You're climbing the stairs alone, just like old times. Morgana, I waited so long for someone like you to show up. Someone with enough spare to resurrect me. Give her back. But now, I don't see it in you. I don't feel one bit of intense hopelessness anymore. Give her back. And here I thought we were cut from the same cloth. Morgana! Yes, I'll give her back. If you can make it to me without losing yourself. I will not give up. Doesn't matter what you do. Looking up, I can't see how far the stairs extend. It's just wrapping blackness. So I have no way of knowing for sure without getting any closer. Around and around we go. Beneath me, the blood river traced the same path in reverse. I trying to wonder the staircase even does that. I'm not even internally retracing my own steps. I continue to climb regardless. That's all I can do. Put one foot in front of the other and hope I make it to the top. Morgana, what is this place? What did it do to you? What is it? Why? It's the mansion you lived for a decade, of course. You look at this and tell me it's the same house. What's with the blood everywhere? And the 3 shadows? Now, my dear. No need to raise your voice. And you're being impolite. One question at a time. Answer me. What is this place? That's immateria. Even if I were to give you an answer you found satisfying, what would that knowledge do for you? Your objection is to reach the top of these stairs and rescue Giselle. Nothing more, nothing less, isn't that right? Oh, by chance, have you taken an interest in me? Despite never once asking me about myself before? My gut tells me that without knowing what this place is, without even the briefest glimpses at its nature, I wouldn't be able to safely get her back. Without knowing what I'm up against, I don't stand a chance. Please, tell me about this mansion, Morgana. About yourself. What? What are you? A witch. No, that's not what I'm asking. Why do you have the powers you do? What are you? Ah, yes. Yes, I get it. Human feels the need to attach names to things and phenomena they don't understand. And I understand that feeling very well. Which is why I'm sure you'd be rather disappointed when I reveal the truth. What do you mean? What I mean is, I'm an ordinary human. That's not possible. You expect me to believe a human created this illusion, and then are you saying I'm a magician or a wizard like you might see in the fairy tale? I believe that over you being human. Think back then, would you? Recall our time together. Did I ever once use magic? Did I ever control fire or wind? Did I create illusions? I did none of that, because I could not. To you, when you were alive, I suppose you could say, I was not but a simple ghost, a rather mischievous, but otherwise powerless spirit. I was nothing more to those three men either. The witch Morgana was never anything but a wretched phantom haunting this old house. But then how could you explain this? Ah, Michael, my dear, we're not the same beings we once were. We're different than we were in the realm of light, the era of living. You figured that much out, haven't you? That you're already dead? Yes. I know. I know I couldn't possibly be alive. Yet you still view this world through the lens of the living. You make no effort to set as the land of the dead. Tell me, why would you think the realm of the living dead are the same? Though the worlds beyond each door were so vibrant. The mansion itself never had any color. They were the memories of the past, of the land of the living, of times forever lost to us. Our lives have already come to an end, my dear. Every last soul within these walls is dead. That is the world that lies beyond the end. It is my world. This is the afterlife. We get caught up in purgatory, in hell-like. And none of us has a future. So what's the reason there for you so desperately obsessed over taking Giselle back? Just like you, she's long since dead. She's a walking corpse. It's nothing I don't already know, but hearing her say it, it's like a kick to the gut. Dead or alive, she still lives within the cells, and my spirit found its way back too. And then, why then, shall I wish for her to have a future? No matter what forms it may take, no matter my choices erased from her body internally, having seen what lies beyond the door in her heart, what happened in all those hundreds of years, I can never let her remain here with you, trapped in this world bereft of light, drifting aimlessly for all eternity. Ah, so determined. You feel the need to raise your voice. But you're not gonna budge on that point, I'd see. I ask you this again, Morgana. Please tell me about yourself. How did you become a witch? How did you end up attached to this house? I want to hear your story. You honestly want to know about me? I do now. Yes, but not for me. For her, right? Don't be shy now. Isn't it the truth? It's the truth, isn't it? Besides, if you did say it was for me, not her, I might die of laughter. As you wish. You see, you have seen many tales of people's lives since arriving here, and now you shall see mine. And though I ask you this, you will writher in despair with me. Will you endure a maddening agony for me? Will you know the pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair again and again and again? As I said before, if that is what you want from me. Let me tell you something though, my dear. It will not be as easy to watch as you imagine. Now that you've reclaimed yourself, you're able to feel all my pain as if it were your own, to resonate with it. Resonate with it? You no longer have a little guardian with you either. My guardian? She was always protecting me. You have a wonderful time, I'm sure. It's a tale that can only take place in that era of miracles and spirituality. Wondrous and weird, senseless and stupid, hopelessly tragic. Will you watch it with me? As soon as the final words leave her mouth, I am engulfed in darkness. Not even a moment to brace myself. The tower stairs crumble beneath me. My feet know where to go. As I'm being pattered by the roaring blood river, my consciousness melds with another. What is this? I carry with me the child of God. That is where it began. The words of one foolish woman determined the course of my entire life. Before I was even born, my fate was decided. Did her claim come from faith? Was it her way of escaping reality? Did she get money for it? Or fame? I don't know. I have been visited by the angel of the Lord. The village where she lived has suffered from years of poor harvest. It's been months since the last rain, and the village prayed desperate to be blessed with a successor. I am with child, though I have no man to proclaim the pregnant woman in the midst of the drought. On the day of my birth, that very moment, I let out my first cry. A heavy rain fell down upon the village. The storm quenched the parched earth, nourishing the crops and saving the village. The villagers were stunned for what they had thought the drought would never end. As plump draughts of rain poured down the village, they gathered around the newborn me exulted. Ah, she's a child of God! Perhaps there would be more wonder in the claim I had magical powers. Perhaps it'd make a better story if I to say there were higher forces involved. But after all these years, here's what I truly think. It was nothing more than a fluke, an improbable stroke of luck, an unbelievable misfortune accident of my mother and the villagers, and an indescribable unfortunate accident for myself. I am with child, though I have no man. Ah, as if that's even possible. Maybe she had fooled around with a man and had gone and abandoned her, and she spouted those lies to convince herself it had never happened. None of the village men made any claims to be my father. Perhaps he was someone else's husband. As such, he couldn't reveal himself, as adultery is a sin in the eyes of God. The girl that were praising the child of God was indeed not more than an ordinary daughter of a wretched woman. At that time, though, I thought differently. I believed my mother's words, convinced I was a saint, and it gave me a sense of duty and purpose, rather than superiority. As a daughter of God, I believe it was my responsibility to help anyone in need. So every day I prayed, asked my Father, what could I do, what I meant to do. Not everyone is equally good. However, there will be someone who lends their ears to the devil's whisper. One man claimed I was daughter of the charlatan. You shout out all to hear. If you really are the children of God, then perform a miracle for us. Could he have been even any more unreasonable? Miracles are neither magic nor parlor tricks. They are realized the power of faith. A lowly villager had no place demanding God prove his own divinity. It is the height of arrogance. But the man refused to heed my words. Sad having no other choice, I proclaimed what I could show him I was indeed a saint. Of blood was the spark of my inspiration. Michael, the time when I was alive and the time when you live were not so different. Our views and beliefs of the world were very much the same. So you can understand that in our time, blood was seen as unclean. It was a dreadful thing ridden with disease, which is why we could drain the blood for animals and purify the flesh before consuming it. Being a saint, my blood would have been different. Like the blood of saints came before me, mine would be blessed. I believe it would be to cleanse people of impurities. For my demonstrations, I chose an elderly woman afflicted with a terrible disease. She was on her deathbed and thought to live longer more than a day or two. The woman was overjoyed when it came to her sincerely believed me to be the Holy Spirit of the Lord. She gathered all the strength she could muster, climbed from bed and kissed my feet. I felt intense deep love for this woman. Placed my hand on her cheeks, I said with my kindness in my heart, "My beloved sister, partake from my blood." The woman agreed without a glance of hesitation. So I pricked the tip of my finger and let the blood drip into her mouth. Within 3 days, her health improved enough to get her out of the bed unassisted. Seeing that, no one in the village doubted my powers any longer. In fact, the man who accused me of being the daughter of a charlatan was subsequently punished for his sins. He received a much-deserved retribution for challenging the daughter of God, for mocking her. But of course, being a saint, I forgave the man. He in turn repented and changed his ways, worshiping me as a true child of God. Now I'll be honest with you. I was ecstatic, utterly elated. I felt like I was on top of the world and I lived in it. The villagers shouted me with adulteration. They revered me, the daughter of God. Anyone who didn't was punished. On top of that, I felt like I could cause miracles. Tell me, do you look down on me for feeling the way I did? The actual child of God would never let herself be consumed by such base emotion, would she? But if you ever would give me a chance, I could let you explain myself. I was but a young girl at the time, and to a child, her mother is the world. Anything she says is the absolute truth. So my mother claims to happen to conceive with the luck of miracle. The young mind was set in stone. I was a saint. My blood could heal the sick, and nothing would convince me otherwise. After all, I was a girl but of 6 years old. It was not my place to decide whether my blood has truly miraculous powers or not. But if you think it did, then it did. If you think it was all happenstance, then it so was. Miracles are brought by faith. So the other woman who was healed was done so by the powers of her own belief. Baseless hopes and desires can at times make the otherwise impossible reality. You understand how major role religion plays in our time, don't you, Michael? Especially someone whose life was taken from him in the name of God. And you understand how powerful word of the mouth can be as well, don't you? It didn't take long for the world of the miracle performing child of God to spread. Travelers from faraway lands came to our village in all search of aid, driven by mixtures of illustrations and duty. I gave my blessing upon to every pilgrimage who sought them. I gave them my blood, and yes, my young hands were perpetually covered in wounds. Running out of skin on my fingers, I cut my back on my hand, palms and wrists. Ooh, not the wrist. I fell on to turn to swollen, cut off, black and red horse. And so I kept them wrapped in cloth at times. The only time I covered them was to give blood to those who sought it. My lacerated hands were no Englishman terms, gruesome and unsightly. believers who came to see me all wept at my selfless sacrifice, as all came to cherish those wounds. There were some whom no miracle took place, but whenever that would happen, the villagers would come and say, "Daughter of God is not to blame, you simply lack sufficient faith." Thus, such incidents had no negative effect on my reputation as a saint. For 3 years, I continued doing out blessings. One day, while I was out for my prayer, my mother let slip her discontent. Why must you hand out miracles for nothing? Why must you give strangers grace? We should get getting compensated. We deserve remuneration. If we charge just a little bit for each blessing, we can live so much more comfortably. I was dumbfounded. How could the mother of a saint say such things? Helping people was my divine calling, and she expected payment? I nearly wept hearing the words. My mother preoccupied with such worldly desires. So I explained how important this work was. I told her that we are not here to convert material wealth, that we must dedicate our lives to the service of our fellow man. You're right, my dear saint, you said, understanding. And I believed her. I fell asleep that night, convinced that she truly understood that she would be here no more problems. But the next day, I was sold off. Men I have never seen before carried me by the arms and tossed me to a carriage. Confused and panicked, I stuck my head out searching for my mother. Off in the shadows of the house, I saw with a strange man, accepting a bag of coins. The carriage rocked back and forth as it rolled along a dirt road, shaking and bouncing with it. I struggled with overwhelming grief and despair. It was perhaps the first time in life I felt such a powerful emotion. I didn't know what I felt so much despair over, though. Obviously, it wasn't my present predicament, but I wasn't sure what about it to hurt the most. Was it that I'd been pawned off like a slave? Was I a mother? The mother of saints had been blinded by money? Was it that the villagers had watched in silence as the spectacle of the Lord was thrown into a carriage? Or was it I, the daughter of God, lamented my misfortune like a mortal? I decided it was a trial. My father, the Lord, was testing my worthiness of being his daughter. So I choked back my urge to cry and sat there in contemplation. For almost 3 weeks I was rocked around in the carriage. The coachman treated me well enough, but I was the only because he didn't want to disperse a cargo die before he could deliver it. He did not, by any means, think me the child of God. 3 weeks the carriage arrived at the city. Hello? It was much larger than the village I'd grown up in, with many, many more people crowding the streets. Something about them felt different, too. They all spoke in a tongue foreign to me, which is when I realized I was far, far away from home. I was delivered to a lavishly decorated mansion on the region's lord. Brightly covered flowers bloomed wildly in the garden as the guests laughed and ate extravagant meals. In addition to them, there were probably 4 times as many slaves moving around the grounds, getting a range of looks from everyone we passed, from smartly dressed men to scrawny emancipated slaves. I was led to the Lord's chambers. The Lord was surrounded by beautiful women. Perhaps they were slaves, perhaps they were prostitutes. I couldn't tell. Among them were some girls hardly older than me. They all wore thin wraps of cloth, barely covering themselves at all. The Lord the Lord locked me up and down. With a laugh, he said, "Ha ha! Welcome, daughter of God. You're performing miracles for me now." Miracles are not something to be performed by a single person and benefit, I replied, shocked and furious. He just said something so utterly blasphemous. Whew, it's a long story. In response, he said, "I bought you. You're my property. You have no right to an opinion, but I will not have any of it. I entertained him as he indulged his lifestyle and devoted himself to the service of the Lord. That the more I pleaded, the deeper the crease of his face grew. Thinking back on it now, it was hardly surprising. A 9-year-old girl was going with the most powerful man in the region. I believe it was my duty and that I was going to do the right thing. But he surely saw it as incredible ignorance. So his Lord forced his will upon me, and bound my hands and feet to cut me without my permission, and filling a goblet with my blood and passing round to his guests. A saint's blood, and good fortune to all. That's when I realized the Lord was only interested in the approval of others. He revealed their envy as he pranced about, showing off his curious new toy, me. He didn't need any of my miracles. Neither he or any of his guests were afflicted with disease or misfortune. They were all richly blessed. Every time I threw a beggar, he drained me of my blood. It became nearly impossible to find a spot either my arms that wasn't swollen or reddish black. And soon, because my arms would provide enough blood for him, the cuttings spread to my legs, and live in a haze of half-confused concessions. Honestly, I'm amazed it didn't kill me. Though perhaps the Lord was simply taking care, not to make more than enough of my blood to spare. Watching the wealthy partridges laugh and snip my blood, though, barely eyes any other, wave of despair came over me. My miracles, my blood, were not meant to be appetizers at a feast. They were meant for the sick and the poor. Despite my wishes, the Lord persisted to squeeze me dry day in and day out for his own enjoyment. For a while I was convinced as old God's test that it was part of his plan for me, his daughter, that if I could make it through the trial, I'll be allowed to go back to healing people. That man would celebrate my success, envy me, worship me. The sinners would face punishment. The divine retribution would be delivered unto all who engage me as a saint, who wronged me as a saint. With each passing day, my spirit grew more twisted. Would anyone believe that scared a bloody girl tied up on the floor in Baker Hall was a saint? Unlikely. This was no charitable gathering, but on a holy Sabbath. Perhaps caused by my corrupted spirit. Perhaps my heart was caring for help. Or perhaps it was the devil giving me my witch mark. But no matter what was the cause during my bloody banquets, during one of the bloody banquets, I underwent transformation. My half-conscious as usual, when the guest pointed at me and shouted something. His face went pale if he was afraid, which I found curious. The Lord then approached and grabbed me by the hair and lifted my head. He yelled something. I was too far gone to be able to make out what he was saying. Suddenly I found myself released from my bonds. But my body had grown so weak from being tied up for so long, I didn't have strength to hold myself up, and so I collapsed to the floor. I was still trying to figure out what happened when the Lord drew his sword, raising it above his head. His words in that moment reached me with perfect charity. You're a damn witch wearing a saint's skin! A witch? Why was he calling me a witch? I was the holy daughter of God. I should have never made a pact with the devil. What could have given the idea? Was it for the store? I mean, what was in store for me now? A god performed some kind of miracle for him? Dozens of thoughts and questions flowed through my mind as death hung over me. I couldn't comprehend anything, and so I didn't feel any fear or anger at my impending death. I was simply curious. What happened to me? But before I had a chance to find any of that answer, the Lord swung down his blade. Without warning, the darkness went away. A second later, I crashed into Stan's heart. Right in my ear, I could hear the river of blood. The world fading out of the view, giving away to very real images of the past I never lived. I probably should feel the fire in the eye of the mad blood banquet guest. My vision distorted and I can't regain my focus. Whose blood is streaming down the stairs? Is it hers? Is it mine? Who am I? A saint or witch? Is what I'm seeing through the lens of clarity or madness? Wait, no. I am not her. I am Michael, and no one else. It hurts, doesn't it? It's hard to breathe. Your chest is on fire. Your vision is blurry. It's dark. It's lonely. It's scary. It's frustrating. It's disheartening. It's exasperation, isn't it? What you're feeling is exactly the pain I felt. Yes, Morgana. Plead for help. Which is when I see something I can hardly believe. Holy shit! Look at that. Both my arms are covered in gashes, blood flowing from them without end. The raw flesh beneath my skin has been exposed to the open air. All I can do is scream. The pain, a horrible past, is doing everything in its power to break me. That 9-year-old girl's sickening experiences are twisted and crushed and constricting and crushing me. What is this happening to you? Are you really slow, my dear? You're empathizing with my pain. You're just that kind-hearted, Michael. You said you wouldn't give up, didn't you? That you'll make your way to me? Then surely this wouldn't be enough to do you in. Of course it wouldn't. I should every last bit of strength I can, begin crawling up the stairs. The red river beats against my open wound, string painfully. The simple act of lifting an arm or leg is almost unbearably agonizing. The blood dripping from my lectured arms mixed with the blood already soaking the tower. Is this the pain Morgana suffer? Do you despise everyone, Morgana? Did you ever resent at your mother's betrayal? At the people who came seeking your blood? At the Lord who took your life? Turn to a hatred of all mankind. Your perception of me is still incorrect, Michael. My grudge is only against a select few. Think about it, my dear. Out of thousands, millions, billions of people living on this planet, my world is comprised but of minuscule fracture of that. Hatred for all mankind? No. What I feel is not nearly so nebulous. Although if I had died, I still believe I was a saint. Maybe I wouldn't be so well at it. Maybe I wouldn't have had such a well-defined mission. Are you saying the Lord didn't kill you? Oh my. Did you think that was the end of my tale? Ah, despite your big talk, you're afraid of having to suffer through more of that, aren't you? But you're the one who said you wouldn't give in. So go on. Know my pain. Without losing your mind. And here we go again. Once again. My surroundings crumble. I have no say. I have no chance to object. But before I'm dragged back to that repulsive banquet, I stretch out my hand, reach as far as reachable. I can grab his darkness. My bloody blood, my bloody body sinks back into the abyss. The pain becomes more than just a memory, enduring away at my consciousness. You're a damn witch wearing a saint's skin. Maybe if I had died then, I wouldn't become the witch you know now. Well, that's all contradiction. To realize what could have happened is an exercise in faulty. But no, I did not die that day. Brought together by constant mistreatment. The Lord's slave chose that moment to start their revolt. When he swung down his blade, someone bumped into him and was knocked off his course. I then had strength to get to my feet, so I simply watched the chaos unfold before my hazy eyes. It would never occur to me that I should try to escape. At some point during the ride, a young man, one of the slaves, grabbed me by my bloody limp arm and let me out of the Lord's manor. The young man brought me to a slum, a place where the people band together in their handshake, barely scraping together enough for me to every day, let alone pay the taxes demanded them. By the time we arrived, a small brothel located ways into the slum. The fog was starting to clear my mind. I knew where we were, and a feeling gaze of that scantily clothed woman, I trembled. In a sense, that was possibly the most frightened I have ever been in my life. Despite everything I'd been through, that idea that I had fallen so far, I would become a prostitute scared me to death. After all, I was a saint, and saints were supposed to retain their purity. Spreading my legs of any man would give me enough coin would shatter my very identity. As all that was going through my mind, I probably shouted, "No!" in protest. But the slave gave me an exaggerated look and told me that he hadn't brought me here to become a prostitute. He said he was someone here someone could trust, that she could give me a room. I had trouble believing it, though. I couldn't trust the word of the prostitute. Someone who had valued money more than her body. It was a trap. I wasn't sure. I was sure of it. One day they would tell me I had to work. Nothing he said would convince me otherwise. The slave gave me an apologetic form, handed me a mirror saying, "Even if I did, you couldn't get any work like that." I could not believe what I saw. That couldn't be my face. That had to be an illusion. There was no way. That was not the face of a saint. It can't be. It wasn't real. It was impossible. Patches of skin have fallen off my face, exposing the raw, red, flat flesh beneath. It looked quite similar to what had been done to my arms and legs, except my face had never been cut before. Look at myself in the mirror, even if I doubt my own sainthood. The thing in my reflection was a hellish abomination. It was the twisted face of a witch. Although I was shocked by what I saw at the same time, he had several lingering questions, including why the Lord and his guests had panicked at the sight of me, and also the way he had said I was a witch wearing a saint's clothes. Over the course of a dozen banquets I participated in, my face must have mutated, twisted into this ugly, sickening, monstrous thing. The sight of what I became snapped the last bit of willpower from me. Not because I practically found my face or thought myself was beautiful, but because it crushed me to see everything, sanity, about me crumbling away. Touch from God or otherwise, I didn't have the strength left to attempt to overcome it. Deciding I would rather be dead than struggle any longer, I begged the slave to kill me, take one's own life with a sin. If I did that, I would not be able to return to my father's side, and would ask him why I would have been put through such tribulation. But the young man refused. He said, completely missing my intention, that if I perceived good fortune would eventually find me. He said that if I live on, I would eventually have a chance to get my payback. I had such no worldly concerns, though. But if one would take my life, I had no choice but to live. I despised life at the brothel. The man who came by their service were discussing buffoons, the kind of people who think they could deceive God, and the woman fawning over them were just repulsive. That said, I had nowhere else to go, which meant I was forced to suffer that sickening place. By the time a year or so passed, my feelings about changed. The woman that brought took good care of me, treated me like a sister. At first I was irritated. I was a saint, and how could a saint have prostitutes for sisters? But over time I got to know them better, in order to appreciate their circumstances and hardships. Despite barely having enough money to keep food on the table. Whenever they had little to spare, they would make a purchase medicine. Ointments applied to my arm and face, legs and face. As a result of their generosity, my arms and legs started looking almost human, but nothing had any effect on my face. Occasionally the slave would drop in and check on me. The other man thought I'd been ghastly and couldn't even get near me. But he was different. Every time I visited, he would say, "One day, I'll show you the world. And tell you the truth, I was going to grow attached to it all." My time at the brothel was probably all things considered more than the brightening chapters of my life. There, I was neither saint nor witch, but an ordinary human girl. For the first time in my life, I had meaning beyond my assumed divine purpose. It was even beginning to feel kind of happy. And with each passing time, my indestructible worldview was gaining a little flexible. Perhaps I could perform miracles. That didn't necessarily mean I could be the daughter of a god or a saint. Maybe I was just a regular person who happened to possess some unusual abilities. Ridiculous, isn't it? Despite coming to accept my humanity, I refused to let go of my miracle powers. They were the last thing protecting what I thought of myself. But to me at the time, it felt like a very dramatic change of heart. 3 years at the Lord's Revolver Man, I had my 12th birthday, which they threw my little dinner party. The women all pitched in to make me treats, and the young slave man was there too. I was happy. I thought if the life could continue on like this, I was fine with not going back to being a saint. But for some reason, happiness always seemed to slip away as soon as you got your hands around it. No one surely wants to lose it. So why must they? I certainly didn't mind not being miserable. Let me tell you what happened that night. On the night of my birthday celebration, bands attacked the brothel. Now, bands were hardly a rarity at that time, so everyone was always on the lookout. We never went out at night. They wouldn't stop at robbing you either. They armed with blades and were frequently killed their targets if necessary. But cautious as we were helplessly attacked at a direct raid. The brothel fell into panic and screams echoed the night. The customers were carved up and left for dead. The women were bound and were stowed away to be sold. My peaceful world shattered into instants. Next thing I knew, I was someone's slave trader merchandise. I didn't know what had become of the prostitutes who cared for me, or the slave who brought me to them. I seen the woman was sold and the young man was slaughtered, but regardless, I found myself being rocked round and back of the carriage once more. The carriage was packed so tight you could barely see the floor and smelled like death. Sweat, urine, feces, every foul odor imaginable comprised into a tiny space. There were both men and women there, nearly all of them muttering and groaning and weeping. Everyone was young and ripe to be put to work. Except for me, of course. It didn't take me long to realize what a fade away these people and me. And what I did, I just sat there in silence. Then for the first time I cried. I was experiencing, I believe, a very human emotion. I was very sad. Hurt that I'd been taken away from a place where I was happy. From the woman at the brothel and the young man. It crushed me. And no longer did I wonder what such a thing was happening to the holy daughter of God, but something about my tears. Like this seemed strange because one man saw me and said, "Why are you crying?" He was a curious man. To start, he looked very different than anyone else. The color of his skin, the length of his nose, the shape of his eyes. Everything about him was new and unusual. Hesitantly I replied, I was sad because I didn't get a chance to show my gratitude to the people very dear to me. The man fell silent, looking as though he was deep in thought. No way he had asked me about No idea why you asked me that. Something about him made me uncomfortable, so I couldn't bring myself to ask. Several hours later, the man suddenly stood up. The guards had no picture of anyone stepping out of line, and they didn't look like they would hesitate to kill either. Surprisingly, one at the back of the carriage drew his sword and pointed at the man. What was unsurprising, though, was what happened next. The man in shackles, like the rest of us, leapt from the guard, slamming his fist into his face and stealing his sword. The entire carriage was shot. The guards were too stunned to effectively react, so they were quickly cut down. And because the one man uprising had taken between the cities, there was no one of the slave traders who could ask for help before they were slaughtered. In a blink of an eye, it was all over, and there was nothing human about what I witnessed. If I had to describe it, you would say it was though it was a wild beast had attacked. The man rushed through the slave trader's clothes until he found the key as he brought it to me, ordering I unshackle him, so I did as he commanded. And once he had time to process what happened, the whipping slaves applauded. Their wretched souls had been saved, and that for moments so believe he too. When the man's hands were freed, he rolled his shoulders a couple times, made sure everything was in place, and then began his massacre. Screams of agony filled the carriage as he ran his sword through helpless men and women packed inside. Blood and guts were spattered against every surface, and those who tried to escape did not get far before began mercilessly skewered. It was like a scene out of a nightmare. I was frozen in place, not out of fear, but because my mind had shut down. I couldn't make sense of what happened, so my mind drifted. With my brain having given up, my body was no more than a lifeless puppet. In short order, all the slaves were dead, and I was in a pool of blood staring at the man. He pointed the blade at me with a smirk and said, "Why didn't you run?" I turned and asked him, "Why did you kill him?" The smile vanished from his face after quite a few moments. "Because I felt like it." "And why haven't you killed me yet?" "I don't know." Then withdrew his blade and wandered off into the distance. And then I was alone, surrounded by corpses. I glanced down, and half of someone's face was still looking back up at me. Ugh. Oh boy, here we go again. Warm blood spilled my cheeks, my skin, my chunks of human flesh drained down on me. Make it stop. There's no end to the deluge. The smell that fills the air. I struck with a weaver of nausea so strong I could hold back the contents of my stomach. But when my mouth opens to vomiting, blood pours into it. Ooh, that's a gruesome scene. No, let go of me! Dead bodies grabbed my ankles, dragging me down. To where? Hell, or to the mountain of corpse. Now, do you understand that there was a time, but a brief butterfly, when I was happy, when I felt human emotions, but I wish I never had. If I had any remain confined in my daughter of a god shell, and then I doubt I would have felt so much terror at the sight of death. I can't say anything in response. I can't form. I feel like I feel what she experienced, the massacre she witnessed, the implied flesh impending upon her, even more than twice their age. It's enough to drive me mad. The fact that a 12-year-old girl had to experience something so unspeakable devastates me. Tell me, my dear, do you pity me? Do you sympathize with me? If you feel bad for me, then you will remain with me. You will feel my pain, bear with me, won't you? The witch crackles echoes to the pile of bodies. There's not a speck of light. A hideous death lingering elsewhere, helpless to resist. I'm dragged down to death, a dark ocean of blood. Help me. Now, on with the story. Jesus Christ, that was a nice transition. I was at complete loss for time after that. I didn't want to return to the city, because I knew there was no one left who would take me in. There was only the Lord who bound me and dreamed my blood. So I wandered the roads, no destination in mind, and nothing to define myself but the clothes on my back. Frankly, I'm rather surprised at what I wasn't attacked by bandits. After walking for days without food or water, my mind was hazy, my exhaustion at peak. In the distance, I saw a lake. So driven by my thirst, I turned my unsteady feet towards the water. Not carrying it took me off the main road, and then turned out that I was the correct choice. But there's a small cottage beside the lake. Smoke rising from the chimney, telling me it wasn't abandoned. Out of sheer desperation, I knocked at the door. No one answered. The door wasn't even locked, so I slowly hesitantly pushed it open. Beyond it, I found an old woman sitting dead in a chair. The woman was a witch. By trade, that is. It appeared she had deep knowledge of medicinal herbs, using it as an assortment of medicines. In her cabinets were dozens of small glass bottles containing dry powder leaves and crushed berries, among other things. On the fire was a cordial liquid bubbling inside. The woman looked as though she was asleep. Presumably she had passed away out of old age, but there was no sign of banishment rooting through the cottage, and she looked of absolute sincerity on her face. Looking over the woman's dead body, I didn't cross myself. I envied her. Dragging the woman's body by her feet, I dumped her into the lake. Do you think this makes me a bad person? Makes me insanity? Well, I didn't have anywhere else to go, and the owner of the cozy cottage was no longer of this world. There's no reason I could have filled the home in her stead, was there? I deserved to have somewhere I felt comfortable. After everything I had been through, didn't I? And so I took up residence in the witch old's cottage, and remained there until my 16th year. By 16, terrible cynicism had taken over my heart. I had no trust for people. I shut them out, building higher walls around myself. Under such a tumultuous body, bloody childhood, it was all I could do to protect myself, to keep my young spirit from cracking. Nevertheless, travelers would occasionally pay the old witch cards with seeking their medicines. Whenever someone arrived, I would occasionally crack the door by telling them they could trade for they wanted with food and never show my face. One day, a young man at the cottage showed up. My sister has fallen ill. She desperately needs medicine. He was very soft-spoken. Let me try that again. Hey, my sister has fallen ill, and she desperately needs medicine. There was a distinct kindness in his voice, which I thought unusual and curious. What kind of person could he be? What did he look like? What expressions did he make as he spoke? To satisfy the curiosity, I snuck a peek through the crack of the door. He was a handsome young man. Mel, flaxen hair. And upon seeing me, he didn't flinch back in disgust. He smiled. According to him, his young sister had fallen gravely ill, and though they had tried a number of remedies, she was still sick. The medicines I gave him had no effect, but I persisted in his quest to visit me again and again with new combinations to try. He wanted nothing more to reveal even the slightest bit of his sister's suffering. And moved by dedication to his family, I too wanted to do anything I could to help. For the first time in years, my world encompassed more than my small college. The young man came, he couldn't answer one for messages, but to go on walks with me. He volunteered to spend time with me despite my horrifying appearance. It's not healthy to stay holed up inside all the time. We got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline? He said with a smile and taking my hand. We spoke as we circled the lakeside. His voice was always soft and pleasant, like a ray of sunlight through a crack in walls. When I was with him, I felt like I could be an actual person, an ordinary girl. He talked about his sisters more than anything. Whenever he did, it was at his brightest and most melancholy. The young man had been a member of a noble house, but disputes over who had the rightful heir had forced him and his sisters out. Shortly after that, his sister had fallen ill and was now bedridden. I'll take anything at this point to make her better. I'll even take a miracle if I could get one. That word, muttered beneath his breath, struck my memory. I was a saint. My blood had healing properties. I had no reason to hesitate. Someone needed my help, and who deserved it more than this kind-hearted young man's sister. So I decided to tell him what I really was. That my blood had miracle powers. That it had saved people. That's the moment when I'd been born. The drought plaguing my village had come to an end. That I had been known as a saint, the daughter of God. I told him everything, and he believed it all. He led me to his house where a pale, sickly young girl lay in bed. She was a sweet little girl with the same flaxen hair as her brother who looked like she would have been quite spirited if not for an ailment. It was touching to see the two siblings sitting there together, quietly holding each other. I would gladly give me blood for those two of them. So I made a new cut on my arm which had healed considerably thanks to slaying the woman of the brothel. Let the girl drink my blood. The other handed me down to my sainthood, and because they believed my miracles occurred, the flexion girl recovered enough to get out of her bed. I was extremely proud of myself. I felt like for once I'd have actually saved someone's life. The only issue was she needed to make a complete recovery. For a few days after drinking my blood, she was in good health, but her condition quickly regressed. I was deeply perplexed with this. A miracle had undoubtedly taken place, but it was only temporary. Now that I believe I can explain what happened, her recovery is nothing more than a pellicle effect caused by her faith. But that's something I couldn't have known at the time. We were all three relaxed, and we were all three disheartened. Nonetheless, I was prepared to give her my blood as many times as needed. Whatever condition worsened, the young man came to request more, and never once did I turn him away. On the contrary, I instantly offered him my service. Over time, the hope in his eyes began to fade. He asked me on few walks and seemed hesitant to look me in the eye. I've assumed out of discomfort of my guilt, out of shame, out of asking for blood. I don't think his concerns were for me, rather himself and his sister. As mentioned earlier, blood was considerably unclean in our times, and not only was I giving my way, I was having sisters embody it. Looking at that way, I was hardly but surprised with him, or anyone else. So to think I was only depraved, as time passed, the flexion man seemed to grow more and more disturbed by me. That was a thought I got for opening up. That's what I got for opening up. That's what I get. That's what I got for letting his kind-hearted warm light shine on me. The moment things went bad, he pulled away. There were times when I thought I should have done anything in the first place. Regardless how fast my ordinary decision. I would put myself on a line for them, and no one else. Just them. Even if he was afraid of me or had no intent to see me, I would turn you off from my blood. I was for my resolve. One day, though, I received a new visitor. A young man who's still the only one I would show my face to, the only guest led to my walls. So as usual, I looked at the man's request beyond the cottage door. Regardlessly, my ears would begin speaking. Are you the witch with the miracle blood? First, how do you know my blood had powers? Second, why did you call me a witch and not a saint? Third, why did he sound like the man who had slaughtered the slave carriage? I told the man he had to leave, that we would not be able to door for any reasons. In response, he said, I am in need of your blood. Could you spare a little? My blood for the sick and needy. I would never need spare blood for a murder like him. I told him exactly, demanding him to leave. I could think about this pile of bodies, the foundation of blood. The man drenched in crimson, wearing a ghastly smirk. I trimmed beyond the door, afraid he may go away, not to ramp, but instead he gave a simple, as you wish, and went on his way. I felt a deep sigh of relief, which when I realized tears were rolling down my cheeks, like an ordinary girl. 3 days later, the flexion boy showed up at my cottage. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I wanted to talk things over. These two sentences were like a shining light from above. I want to talk to him too. I want to take a walk around the lake and listen to him talk about nothing. I want to experience the warmth of his world once more. I wanted to tell him about the terrible man who had been here a few days earlier, and how scared I'd been. I wanted to tell him about it'll be alright. I want to talk to you too. I want to talk to you too. Without a second thought, the light of the sun was so bright I could make out his silhouette. I could see the look on his face through his eyes. A gentle breeze blew past, and my mind froze. How could this be happening? What did it mean? Why? How? What was that man doing standing behind him? Why was he carrying a sword? Why was he coming to my house? And why did he swing it down, severing my arm? I was in a daze. I couldn't make any sense. I didn't want to. I let the arm fall to the floor before I even knew what was happening. And then my legs gave out. The pain searing and unbearable came for a few seconds as I was laying in an ever-expanding pool of my own blood. I did something then that I didn't have done before, that I resisted doing no matter how much blood the Lord had stolen from me. I screamed. It was hideous, and a rustful noise, a sound I never thought a saint could make. Its merely splitting howl the slades had made as the man had butchered them. I withered, I wailed, I wept, I crawled across the floor with my own blood. I begged and I begged for my life. The man walked over and picked up my severed arm. Then shockingly, he touched the kind-hearted young man, after which he said, That's your share. She'll last you long enough. Share? What do you mean by share? What was he talking about? Why did he give him my arm when why would I take it? Why was he taking like they knew each other? Why? Why? I spilled my blood for him when he asked it, hadn't I? So why was he doing this? Why was he cutting off my arm and stealing it? Each was this conscious coincidence then. You understand how I felt, didn't you? You can put yourself in my shoes, can't you? The young man refused to look in my eye. Holding my bloody arm in his trembling hands, he fled from the cottage as quickly as his legs would allow. The man then walked over and picked me up. He had neither strength nor willpower to resist. Holding his arms, began to speak, telling me that I didn't want to know, things I didn't want to hear, but he didn't care. Nothing personal. I just need your blood. Without it, she'll lose her church. Don't take it personally. Tell me, is there anyone in this world who wouldn't feel a bit spite at being put through so much torture? How was I supposed to let that slide? Not one. That much of a saint. My trust had been betrayed. I was supposed to return to the other cheek? A man who bragged, who barged into my home uninvited and cut off my arm, and I was supposed to smile and take it? Is there anyone, anywhere, who doesn't feel the slightest bit of hatred ever? Is there anyone in this world who couldn't just laugh and brush this level of abuse? Tell me, is there? How could I not hold a grudge? How could I despise them? How could I possibly forgive them? Tell me, please. Tell me, how could I? She needs the money. I need some way of getting enough money to keep her church running. So the Lord made me an offer. If I brought on the witch of the miracle blood, He would finance a whole new church for me. The Lord, why him again? Why couldn't He leave me alone? To telling me to try to kill me during one of His Sabbaths. Why would He offer me after my blood once more? Had He learned really did have miracle powers, decided He wanted it back. You get to be the sacrifice to keep the church from collapsing, keep her world from collapsing. Sacrifice. Excuse me, what? What's up with you keeping her church from collapsing? You murdered church full of innocent people, and you're trying to protect the church. You? Are you out of your mind? Churches are where people go to communicate with God, to speak with my Father. How dare you soil those sanctification grounds with your filthy hands, you beast! It's insulting, sacrilegious, repulsive. What do you think we are? So, don't take it personally, witch. I am not a witch. I am a saint. I was a saint. My blood existed to the Lord's work, not to satisfy the avarice of man. Why is this happening to me? The man brought me back to the city. I just stayed and take me to the Lord's man. He brought me to a church on the city outskirts. Though to be honest, it looked like more than a state Indian church. The church also serves as a hospital, offering free care to less fortunate children, and the poor and the infirm. That was when I learned that He said that they needed money. The old church offered unconditional assistance to anyone who came. Even when food and supplies ran low, they would ration their own in order to keep helping others. As a result, the church was perpetually on the verge of collapse. The church was ran by a woman, something exceedingly rare for the time. There was no priest, all marriages handled by a single nun, who everyone referred to as the saints. I was the saint. Why was this woman, who didn't have the ability to perform miracles, be worshipped like she did? Why did she other people in the city idolize her? Why were their smiles all directed at her? Why was I not in her place? The man carried me to the top of the observation tower. It was there I had a reunion with the Lord. I was to spill my blood for the people for the city, but also for the Lord's prophet. It was not offered for free day, but selling it as medicine. He claimed it was a miracle, so telling no one that it was actually my blood. It was mixed with a beautiful red wine, and drink it would cure any ailments. And they knew it was the blood of a witch, that they would think of unclean. They would fear it. I remained in prison for a long, long time. In the beginning, the swordsman guarded me. Though before long, the flaxen-haired young man showed up as well. Observing one servant hard was enough to keep us still healthy for long. In listening to the conversation, I learned to ensure no one else could get in. The observation tower was sealed with 3 locks. The Lord, the swordsman, and the young man each held one of the keys. I was their secret, locked away in the tower for them to drain my blood from them. Time went on, and I grew progressively weaker, and lost the will to eat, and the will to live. My only view of the tower was the clouds through a window high up on the walls. Occasionally a pigeon would fly in, sometimes a butterfly. Out of a glare and envy, as if it flutter around to freely come and go as it pleased. Soon it was spring. Every spring the church held a festival to pray for the coming year. harvest, and the people's well-being. I could hear the bustle far from below, although the window, as ever, rushed to prepare. I heard the flaxen-haired girl's voice, who had regained her health drinking my blood. Her brother's voice, who had betrayed me. I heard the nun's voice, who played the saint in my stead. I heard the barbaric swordsman's voice, which shut off my arm. And I heard the Lord's voice, the root of my suffering. I heard the people praise the saintness, though I, the true saint, was locked in a tower. I heard the people thanking the Lord for its generous donations and miracle medicine, though it all come from me, propped up for my suffering. They chewed and clinked glass of my bloody wine, and those merry, peaceful, cheerful, sprightly sinners' voice resound in my tower. And at noon on the day of the fest, the church bell tolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and with the 12th chime, I died. And as the bell, pealing, faded to silence, the tower doors swung open. Standing at the side were 3 men. There was one drilling one blood used to feast. But they arrived at the worst possible moment. The flaxen-haired man was the first to express his consideration. Why? I never wanted her to die. Was she not eating? The Lord gave my clothes a glance and stared at the stone face. Soon with the tower. Understood? No one finds me with this. How can you be so calm? Do you understand what you've done? Pinning the blame on me. Pinning the blame on me? How is it nice? Must be able to sort the reality with panic. The swordsman, who had been so silently observing the Lord, and the boy conveniently injected. You're just as guilty as any of us. Not only did they not mourn my death, they argued over whose fault it was. There was no regret or remorse. The young man muttered upsettingly, I never wanted to die. What did his tendency even matter, though? It was his betrayal that had ultimately decided treated me to this mansion. The fact that they didn't agree with my death, instead squabbled amongst themselves like filthy rats, was the final straw. How could I not despise them? I didn't believe I actually had the power to perform miracles when I was alive. It was all faith, the illusion of belief. I was neither saint nor a witch. The blood wine was only because the people placed their faith in other saintliness. I was only ever human. But then, in that moment, an actual miracle occurred. My father bestowed upon me his power. Perhaps it was the devil's. Don't let me get straight. I was looking down my own dead body, my own wretched self. There was nothing beautiful but the pile of bones that had become. I could almost smell the rotting flesh. That was once a saint. I laughed at that thought. It was absurd, ridiculous, and infuriating. They would pay. Those who had cast me into this hell, who had mocked me, who had done this to me, who had made a witch out of me. Hatred coursed through me. Resolved that any one of those grounds still smiling, they would just know whose dead shoulders that the little party was residing upon. They want to call me witch? Then a witch I would be. I would kill them. Every last one of them. Place a curse upon their souls. So I made my wish. Most people consider it a curse, but to me, it was most certainly a wish. And my father, or maybe the devil, granted that wish. From the garden, there rose a scream. The flexing young-haired man knew the voice better than anyone. He went deathly pale, darting down the spiral staircase to reach a window. A girl was on knees, vomiting blood in the grass. The young man let up wells as he descended to the remainder of the staircase. As soon as he reached the garden, he lifted the girls into his arms. But she already perished. Realizing this, he cried to the heavens, saying the one thing he should have kept to himself. The witch killed her. The blood of the witch killed my sister. The wine you're drinking is no medicine, it's the blood of the witch. You're all drinking the witch's blood. Crushed by the loss of his own family, the young male picked up a silver fork and plunged it to his own throat, ending his life. Naturally, there was an uproar. The goblets of wine crashed against earth in rapid succession. The people holding them fell to the ground and vomited and cursed. The nun was the first target of their outrage. What she claimed to be medicine had turned out to be blood of an unclean substance. The blood of a witch, no less. A servant of the Lord towards a servant of the Lord, he had given her followers blood to drink. And this, their ingestion ensured, unfortunate. The people surrounded her, tying her up and throwing her to the ground, as prepared to inflict righteous justice upon her. The soldier soared down the stairs into the garden, plunging his blade to anyone standing near the nun. The cries of agony ringing through the church grounds were ear-splitting. It was no longer a place of God, but hell on earth. Hell built up by the hands of man. Hell painted red upon the wine, upon the blood of their brothers. The people armed themselves with anything they could find and went after the man. As much as a beast he has been, he stood little chance against such numbers. It is his fate as a beast to be exterminated by those he terrorized, and once he was gone, the nun had no one left to protect her. She, too, was consumed by her frenzy. All that remained was an extinguishable inferno, hysteria and despair, madness and outrage, and no one outlet from it. It was revolt that made the slaves uprising and Lord Manners look like a game. Eventually the rage found a new target, the Lord. It was only natural, for he was the true villain. He was the one who had given money and the witch's blood to the church. He was the one who had profited off, and above all, people resented those who stood above them. Practically times of unrest. The city resounded with cries of the Lord's head, and he looked down upon all the safety of the observation tower. He could do nothing but watch as his domain burned. I can only imagine how painful that must have been. But before long, having simply had made his peace, he began descending a spiral staircase. He opened the door to the bar, revealing to his people, but his door swung open all the way. Wouldn't you say his final words? Someone ran a blade through his chest. With that, the raging fury almost settled down, but it was hardly the end of sorcery. Merely days later, plague befell the cities. Dreadful black spots covered the flesh of the infected. They withered in pain, screaming and vomiting blood. Ghastly growls echoed the streets, as though the whole city's been possessed. It became a cursed land. In their disease haze, the people muttered again and again. You have been cursed by a witch. In less than a week, the entire city was dead. My body was left and abandoned on top of the observation tower. As if to seal the curse away in their final days, the people shut all the windows, wrapping the house in darkness. It's possible that was no miracle either. Could you please explain what happened then? Locked away for so long in their tower? Maybe I caught some kind of disease. And then, when the people drank my blood, they too were infected. Hardly anything out of the ordinary about that. The first to die, the girl, had already been ill. Her body merely chose the worst possible time to yield her ailment. That was all that happened. Indeed, it was nothing more than a fluke, an impossible stroke of luck, and an unbelievable unfortunate of the city. Those three men had indescribably fortunate accident myself, but I wish to believe it was a miracle. But that, even if my blood didn't have all the healing properties, even if I was insane, my wish, my curse, was to crush that of was the cause of that uprising. That was my miracle. Granted by God or the devil. I choose to believe that. And that my miracle took its true form thereafter. My curse brought death upon the three men. For whatever reason, my reckoning was far from stated. They had died, so what? Death is but a transient agony. It's nothing compared to what I've went through. So I made my next wish. I wish for their resurrection. I wish eternal suffering on their souls. I wish to trap them in a never-ending cycle of pain and hatred. That was my wish for the flex-and-hairy young man. He treasures dear sister and desired a quiet life. So I wish for him to just have that. And I wish for his dear beloved sister to love him more than anything in the world. For his world to be destroyed by love gone too far. This was my wish for the beast-like man. He was conscious of his teeniness of violence, and he yearned to be more human. So I had his inner beast tone up just a little. I saw to that he would never be human, so he would never have the peace so he'd desire. My wish for the Lord was more straightforward. He had a great affection for wealth and authority, so I'm sure those were the only things he could ever have. Who needs loves or friends when he could be drowning in power? And he had lost everything. His solitude was his only companion. Wishes come true as long as they held fast. Never stop wishing, never surrender, and then they can come true. Eternal suffering for all on their souls. An endless cycle of reconstructions and abominable tragedy. Tell me, my dear, do you sympathize with me? Will you curse them with me? Will you take my hand and revile them with me? This time, my body crashed into house stairs, and I am able to make noise. The obstruction is less mental and more physical. The aggravating pain. It's so intense, I can't even scream. My mind is disoriented. My mind thick with fog. I feel like I fall into a bottomless pit if I lose my grip. My consciousness, even slightly, though through the haze, I see my own severed left hand reflected in a pool of blood. I see my face, large chunks of flesh peeled off. Look at you! You're trying to crawl up those stairs like a worm. How pathetic. Looks like I'm looking at my old self. I can barely form a thought. I can't laminate her inner human fate. Can't mourn from her, or be shocked by her revelation about three men and her history with them. Pain. It fills by every corner of my mind, every nook and cranny of my body. Have you figured it out by now? Haven't you, my dear? You'll never make it to me. It's not even possible. But it's not your fault. It's not because you're weak. There's simply no one who can bear this pain. You're allowed to give up, to rest. There's nothing wrong with that. The pain, the crushing weight. It's miserable, isn't it? But all you have to do is turn back, and I'll go away. The witch whispers her sweet temptation. You put in a fine effort. There's no shame at all throwing the towel. Her voice is soft. You put in a fine effort. There's no shame in throwing the towel. Her voice is soft, gentle, pleasant. Concede defeat. If I do, I'll go away. The screaming pain sprang to the stump of my left arm. The sensation of being permanently drained of my blood. The miserable salt is staring at a door that never opens. The laughter I can hear through the window. My miserable waiting and this maddening hatred. I can end it all. That's right. It'll be all over. I have the power to make it stop. Make it all stop. No, don't. No! I can't let that happen. No, I have to get her back at my side. I'll do anything to take her back. Even if it means I have a tiny scraps of meat. I will not give her up for any reason. You won't, will you? Oh, such a beautiful resolve. Willing to sacrifice yourself to save the girl. Like a hero of legend. Or maybe fairy tale's prince. No! I am no hero. I am no prince. I am a human, ordinary human. I don't have extraordinary potentials. I'm not a courageous leader or a charismatic general. I'm just a regular human. I love with a regular woman. I refuse to lose her. I don't need any compliments, only that. That's all I need. Because I'm just a regular man. My one act of resistance, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how much you cut me up. Nothing changes. Nothing changes what I have to do. I will take her back. I have and set her free of this mansion. Nothing else. And will never, and never will I back down on that. Arms or none. As long as I can move, I must push forward. I must take my way to the one waiting for me for so long. Up to the top of the tower. Forward. Ever onward. Here we go in the transition. We finally reach the door. Dragging my bloody body, paying my I once more arrive at the top of the observation tower. I place my hand at the door, hold myself up with lactured right arm. Take a moment to catch my breath, to lift my head, and gaze into the void to shout a name. Morgana! I pity you. I truly do. You were a saint. You were a saint, shackled with unfathomable fate. And for that, I am enraged. As I felt your pain, as I watched your life, I too felt bearing hatred for those three men. If you truly feel that way, then why can't you stay here with me? We're all dead anyways. We've reached our ends. Do you honestly think there's any more for us? There isn't. The end is the end. So what did you say to the three of us? You, me, and Giselle. Torture these three of them, and every one they cared about. Make them suffer for all of eternity in this house. And that way, you and Giselle can be together forever. That's not an option. That is not an option. Why not? Because hatred only brings you pain. Ha! Oh, that's brilliant. You. Dad. Jesus Christ.
I thought you saw me here.
Yeah, my own father scared me right from behind. Yeah, my own father scared me from behind. Jesus. Oh, that's brilliant. You spouting stupid. You spouted stupid. You're spouting stupid nonsense at me. I can't believe my ears. Save your nonsense moralization about how hatred does you no good. I won't hear it. I'm doing just fine for myself, my dear. In fact, I've never been better. I feel wonderful. Did you think that would be enough to persuade me? Really? Ah, how disappointing. And here I thought you understood me. Morgana! Why don't you say what you really think? Go on right ahead. Hit as much as you want. But keep me and Giselle out of it. Why don't you just say that? I do feel bad, truthfully. For all the time we spent together, never once did I ask you about your life. I was so focused on myself. In the end, I pushed you away. That you did. And I wanted to be with Giselle. And I wanted to be with Giselle. So you pushed me out. I wish I'd asked you sooner. I would have changed anything in one puny man knowing what I've been through would hardly been enough to erase the loathing I bear. I would have truly turned out the same regardless. There was nothing you could have done for me. There is nothing. Still, I'd like to apologize. Had I known you carried in your heart, perhaps I could have chosen my words better. Instead of rejecting you, I could have chosen some other reason. You cannot remain in this house, nor can I allow you to stay here either. So I'd like to apologize for both my past actions and my present. Well, if that's the case, open the door, Michael. Take another moment to catch my breath. And then I gather my strength at the hand of the door. Blood steams from my fingertips, slowly trickling down the rough surface. Reminds me of my death. I'm coming for you. Open the door, praying that it will be the last. That beyond lies type of gel, and if possible, that it might cast a bit of light on Morgana's heart as well. What? What, however? Why am I... Any moment of pain, I could have handled it. For you, I could have done it, but this, hearing those words coming from your mouth, being rejected by you, that I, those words, they all bury me alive. You're the only one person I never wanted to hear them from. Michael's Pass. Very much Michael's Pass. I learned my father enemy passed away. I wrote 2 letters. One to my brother and one to my mother. The first time I had the courage to face to my mother, to open to her. I wanted sure I was convince her that I wasn't cursed, so I could be myself when I returned to capital with Giselle. Dear mother, there's something I want to tell you, something that means a great deal to me. Sassy, please hear me out, and I ask you, please accept it, mother. I no longer bear anything for my presence lot in life. Nevertheless, I would ask you to consider one thing, that I was never cursed, that I was always your son. I am the door opens. The 7th door. 1082. Whenever. There were 2 things out of the ordinary about that baby. The first, parents embraced, and the second, they would wholly reject. Although, it seemed sometimes before the baby's second spectacular emerged, and until it finally did, no one was any the wiser, not even the child itself. His mother surely enjoyed the brief period of happiness. Before her child finally realized the truth, blind to the fact that the moment had let out its first cry, everything came crashing down. To this day, she doesn't know the child was to give birth to, that she set loose a curse upon the world. A curse that turned angels into demons, human to witches. Oh God. Oh God, look at that. She's beautiful, isn't she? Have you seen her laugh? No, I haven't. At any rate, the color certainly isn't something else. God's gift to us, no. Such an angel sent from the heaven. An angel? Ah, yes, I can see it now. Lydia. Her white hair, almost translucent skin, it's beautiful. Oh, she opened her eyes. Maybe she felt you nearby. Do you like your father more than me? Isn't that, sweetheart? Gorgeous, aren't they? Such a deeply enchanting color. The 2 little jewels. Ah, they are. A magnificent shade of red. I've never seen anything like that. This is our child. She especially is. I can feel it. You can take good care of her, right? She needs a name. One that's just special as her. Have you ever chosen one, enemy? You were the one begging for a girl. You do it. Besides, I already racked my brain for the boys' names. Now it's your turn. Are you really letting me? My, that's quite a lot of pressure. Name her after Angel then. Oh, like that? Alright, then. You can call her Michael. You can call her Michelle. The Archangel Michael. Grown to a beautiful angel, my Michelle. Always wanted a little girl. Her snowy white hair. With her snowy white hair. Skin so pale, you could see veins beneath her beautiful, beneath her and her beauty, and her ruby eyes. She's a very particular looking little girl. And the mother shuddered with love. She truly believed her daughter was an angel sent above, born as a human child. Blessed babe, born a girl. Let's give an angel's name. Michelle. Me. This is an interesting tale now. Checkmate. Did her. Gah! Ah. I see what you did. Curses. I completely overlooked that. I thought you advanced with your pawns, but that was all a diversion. You're too short-sighted, Ditter. You need to look at the bigger picture. Sometimes it's the technician and not the soldier holding the sword. Huh. You got me. You're good at this, Michelle. What inspired you to take such an aggressive strategy? It was not inspiration. It was diversion. Diversion. Just as many ways similar to pre-war tactics. Ah, my military texts. You haven't read all of them, have you? I have nothing but time. Impressive. Even I haven't read all the books in my room. You're planning to join the order with that kind of knowledge? You jest. You're the one who's gonna be a knight, Ditter. Ah, that I am. War is the man's job, after all. I want you to be there to welcome me home. Ditter. Oh, Ditter. I'm a bit of blind. Oh, well, hello there, Michelle. I didn't know you're home, George. Yes, just got back. Oh, playing chess again, aren't we? Let's see, what do we have here? Get away from the board! Yikes! You got touched. And you call yourself her big brother? As if you're any better. That's not funny, George. I can't approve for someone who can't give up with the flow of battle and become a knight. And given our family ranks, you would eventually put in charge of the other soldiers. What? You're worried about me? No, I'm saying... I've been blessed with such a caring sister. But fear not. I have a guardian angel, after all. Where's that in logic? Amen. To start her up a moment, but, does nobody listen to me? Ha! Now, don't pout. So what seems to be the problem, George? Oh yeah, let's listen to this. The royal court is holding a swordsmanship show. As far for some reason I was elected to participate. Ah, how unfortunate of you. I can really see you on the ground sobbing. Hey, now, that's just mean. Besides, my hands were meant to hold a sword. Look at these dainty fingers. They're covered in casuals. Dainty colossus. Or whatever they call it. Tell me, why would they have an artist for sword fighting? That's the whole point of it, I think. No one needs to get worked up, so no one's expecting you to win. Maybe not, but we do have a name to worry about. And you know what that means, don't you? I'm gonna lose, that's a given. But I want to do it in style. Be fat for your sword. Hey, don't be like that. Now, come on, time's a wasting. To the court side we go. Just so you know, if I train you, I'm gonna train you right. All I want to know is how to look good. What is it, Michael? May I watch? Fine with me. But you know you can't go outside. I'll be watching from the hall. I can open up one of the windows facing the courtyard. Still, you need to be careful. You can't spend too much time with the sun. I know. I had two older brothers back then. The eldest debtor belonged to the order of knights that would serve the church, and below him was George, who served as a court artist. He was like, in all likelihood, would inherit the family estate, as knights were not normally allowed to own property. Nevertheless, the Bollinger family name was upheld by debtor. And then there was me, the youngest, the only daughter. Physically, I was not in good health. Because of the color of my skin, I was hypersensitive to sunlight. I rarely left the estate. My world was contained entirely within these walls, perhaps out of some sense of pity or compassion. My two brothers spent a great deal of time with me. Didder played chess with me, and George taught me how to draw. And among other things, taught me how to read and write. For a girl, I was incredibly fortunate. The one thing I wasn't allowed to do, though, was to hold a sword. While hardly anything unusual, it bothered me deeply. I had it for as long as I could remember. And if I had been told I couldn't do it because I lacked strength, I probably would have accepted it. But the reason given was not that I was weak, but that I was a girl. With each passing years, that smoldering frustration in the back of my heart grew larger. Come on, put it to your back. Like I said, all I want is to put on a good show. Oh, you put quite a show, unless you learn how to swing that sword properly. You give me a break. Out in the garden, my two brothers traded swings bare-chested. All I could do was observe from afar. Every time I found myself forced to watch, I felt the sharp pain in a needle piercing my chest, a needle that seems to be growing ever thicker. My mother and my brothers loved me dearly. That didn't change the fact that the outside world lay beyond my reach. I was trapped in a state owned by my body. At first, I thought it was the root of my pain, but it began to seem to contradict something inside me, something I couldn't explain, something I could ignore even as a child. So I searched within myself, trying to find an explanation for that constantly swelling sensation of wrongness inside me. Day after day, I gazed into the cavern of my own heart. Thank you for stopping by. My. Now, what are the two of you doing out here? George was asked to do swordsmanship at the show at the royal court, so Debtor is helping him. Swordsmanship? Oh, I just can't stand those shows. Blades are dangerous, and I can't help watch people swinging them at each other. Why'd you come back in your room with me, Michelle? I would love to teach you how to sew. But, Mom, I want to watch them practice. Michelle? First of all, you need to watch how you speak, young lady. Don't call me Mom, call me Mother. This is what happens when you spend too much time around boys. As your mother, I don't approve of you playing chess or making arts. A woman needs for such skills. They won't make you look insolent. But I want you to grow up to be a respectable woman. That's my job and my dream. A dream as your mother. Now come. I'd rather you look as more fun aberrating with me than a couple of sweaty men. Yes, Mother. You are my little girl after all. Spending time with Mother was agonizing. Was it because her world was so isolated? No, that wasn't it. Her gentle voice, the sweet scent of her perfume. The more she constantly told me how much she loved me, and her deteriorates about how wonderful it was to be a girl. Everything she did put so much pressure on me. But above all, she loved to say, "You're my little girl after all." There was nothing strange about that at all. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw the daughter of a noble. That's who I was. So the only thing that was wrong was how I felt. But every time I was faced with reality of who I was, my heart wavered. I had no interest in learning embalmer. I didn't understand that was necessary. I knew the purpose it served, but everything she taught me, I knew what I needed was to lead off to some noble boy. And it was my responsibility to learn those things. It didn't feel right, though. I couldn't even accept the fact that one day I would be married. But an ominous shadow lurking in my future. I would have preferred reading the books in Ditter's room than having conversation with my mother. Tales of heroes of old and daunted soldiers. Military texts written by technicians in the mindset of war. Thinking about them set my heart aflutter. It made me think about my brother. He was trained to be a knight. I envisioned armor reflect the rust. Long swords glimmering with the blood of savages. So I found myself in my fantasies, imagining how the sword would feel in my hands. The sensations of hilt beneath my fingers. Swingingly gauntly, like my brother. How heavy it was. How much muscle would I need to carry? How much impact would I feel in my hands when it struck? How restricted my vision would be wearing a helmet? How much did it weigh? How hot it was inside? I had no way of answering those questions, though. God, kill me now! I have some cloth if you could wipe yourself off. Oh yeah, thanks. God, I'm so dead. You're at it for a long time. I never know if D to half-ass something off gets started. Which I guess it would make me a knight in material, though. Are you supposed to be becoming a knight? Well, you know, I kind of assume he inherited the state to handle taking care of anything. So it's like, why he's gotta go and be some priest whipping boy. Don't tell him I said that. He wants to fight for the greater good. I don't know. Despite the name, he wouldn't be doing much fighting himself. Anywho, someone's passionate might be able to make changes for the better. Changes? He knows the condition the order's in. That's why he's joining. You figure he wants to whip him to shape, run him down, and reforge the whole thing. Ah. Huh? So he might be able to change things. What are you wondering about, Michelle? Hey, whoa, hold it! The pain felt my chest when I smelled the sweat emanating from George's body. When I looked at his slender but distinguished male build, I was convinced it was admiration. Did I want to become a knight too? Maybe the discomfort I felt because I wanted to be like him would all go away. If I really changed the rules and I could join the order as well, I was positive it would. Okay. Did her? Michelle, hold on. You can't come barge in my room unannounced. I'm trying to change. We need to talk. I said stop! You're a girl. You just can't walk into a man as he's changing. I see no reason for you being so self-conscious. Listen to me, Michelle. George tells me you plan to overhaul the order. He told you that? No, I hardly have such a grand inspirations. Don't be coy. I believe you have what it takes to do it, Ditter. What's got into you? You're unusually fairy today. So I want to ask you a favor. When you have enough influence in the order, I would like you to make me a knight too one day. You what? I'm tired of the way Mother treats me. Anyway, as always, saying I can't do this or that because I'm a girl. I want to learn how to swing a sword. I don't want to be memorable. I don't care about jewelry or fancy clothing. Michelle, what's got into you? I'm so much more interested in the world you live in, Ditter. So please. Well, I'll be... I suppose we must let ourselves spend too much time with you. Not you too. That's exactly what Mother said. First of all, Michelle, you don't have the strength to hold a sword. Then I'll train until I do. If that doesn't work, I still have my mind. You know good well I could. People aren't chess pieces, Michelle. But dinner. But above all, you're missing the important thing. I will not, for any reason, become a man. Become that kind of a man that makes a woman take up a sword. Dinner. This may seem normal to you, growing up with two brothers. But I want you to listen to me, Michelle. Men and women walk different paths. Men wield swords to fight off dangerous enemies, and they do so to protect the weak, women, and children. I'm here to protect you and our mother. You're no different than her. You don't treat me any different than her. Honestly, what's got into you, Michelle? Why wouldn't I treat you like a daughter of the Bollinger estate? Your brother and I, we never meant to make you think. Forget it. What? I'm sorry. I knew I was foolish of asking. Asking was foolish. Oh. But I thought you would understand how I feel. Even just a little bit. What was I expecting him to understand? Even I didn't understand the thing I felt. I wanted to know what's gotten to me far more than he did. What I'd done was no better than a temper tantrum. Was I that desperate to become a knight? No. I just thought that the key to the chains my heart laid down the road, but ultimately, there was nothing. Assuming Ditter had agreed, assuming I did become a knight, I wouldn't do anything for the core problem. As I dashed from my brother's room, I snuck a peek at him. His face was filled with intense perplexity. How could I blame him? I tried to push a dozen different ideas onto him at once. I filled myself with the vain hope that he would somehow be able to make sense of me when I can't even make sense of myself. And now, babbling with unworn anger at being let down, I fled to my own chambers. I can only imagine how frustrating that must have been. It was the spring of my 14th year. Heavy cloud filled the skies, blocking out the sun and giving an impression of a late evening and all through the day. I, for one, preferred it when the sun wasn't out. Not the sunlight would kill me, but if it was bright enough, the whole world would seem so light I couldn't hardly see a thing. Wish I could go outside on days when the weather made everyone else gloomy. As I was meandering through the courtyard, I spotted someone I had never seen before. A warm breeze blew past, sending a swirl of flower petals. The girl dressed lightly over frame, tracing her gentle curves. "Who are you?" asked when the girl twisted the girl toward her, smiling. "My apologies. Have you seen such a beautiful courtyard here? You have such a beautiful courtyard here. I let myself in for a little walk." Long chestnut hair flowed around her feminine shoulders. I swayed slightly in the wind. A cloud of melancholy dissipated in the light of her smile. "You must be Michelle. You're just as pretty as I heard. And you are?" "I am Ami. It's a pleasure to finally meet you." "Finally meet me? What was she talking about?" As I stood here baffled by the strange woman, she stepped towards me, kissing me softly on the cheeks. "I'm thrilled to meet my queens, Michelle." Her voice was something pour honey in my ears. Exhilarating sweet. "I'm George's fiancé, and it's also stuck into another one's needle to my chest." And also stuck a needle into my chest. She was no name of Avni Jobert. Though only 15, she was the very image of refined, polished to a shine. No one had told me my brother was to be married. It came out of nowhere, and it seems I was the only one who didn't know. And that evening, when the family gathered on the table for supper, Ami was there too, and they prepared an extravagant feast for the occasion. My father, Antonio, looked so proud of his two boys. Bitter soon received his assignment, and George soon to be wed. The banquet proceeded smoothly. No doubt in the air that we were all a happy family. But mine was elsewhere. I found myself on occasion chasing Ami with my eyes, watching the way those slender fingers scratched his bone, her fulfilled lips parting to let a piece of fruit in, her deep red tongue. Visibly, but for the briefest of moments, the way all the muscles in her face seemed to relax and release the sweet juices spit into her mouth. The way she spoke so soft and gently, letting each sound hang in the air just briefly before intoning the next. She was distinctly feminine, in a different way than my mother. Apparently was going to be living the Bulgar state for some time. Mother was pleased to have another girl around, or more specifically, she was ready to find someone other than my brothers for me to spend time with. I assumed I would hate being around another girl. Surely she wouldn't be able to play chess after all. For some reason, I felt much less suffocated around her than my mother. One night, Ami's family, an array of nobles from both houses, circled around assembling the state for a party. A din like of which I'd never heard in my life filled the great hall. Everywhere I looked, there were people everywhere. Servants scrambled every which way, silverware clanging against dishes in almost constant hums. Voices from all directions. I felt moderately ill. Hey, D. I feel like we were critically short on waiters. This doesn't look good for us. And who was it who went inviting everyone he came across again? Who are those people? They are artists like me. I met them at the court. Let's see. We have some painters, composers, sculptors, troubadours, I can't pronounce that word, poets, writers, you name it. None of them have any connection to the Yarberts or the Bollingers. Sure they do. They're my friends. You know this is me and Ami's party. You can play with your friends elsewhere. I hope you realize we have a reputation to uphold. Off in one corner, several men pursuing George's friends gather in a circle. They sit in front of other aristocrats, both in appearance and the air they give. The clothes they wore, the embroidery hidden beneath their cuff jackets, the manner of speech, the way they held themselves. They were, simply put, a far cry from the hard-headed Ditter's idol's party guests. The heirs, even watched from far. Their school and two brothers ran in different crowds. The only reason the headstrong Ditter and free-spirit George were able to get along, and all because they were brothers. If they had been strangers, I doubt their paths would cross much. But if they did, those interactions would have been quite rocky. Hey, come here, guys! George shouting voice pulled my preoccupied mind back to surface. He summoned his friends, then led them to where I stood. What are you doing hiding in the corner, Michelle? I didn't even notice you. Allow me to introduce you to a few of my friends. Oh, no, George puts his hands on my shoulder and peeled me off the wall and standing me in front of his male friends. Socialization was the last thing on my mind. I searched for dinner, hoping he would come to my rescue, but he was off trading pleasantry fancies away from me. This is my baby sister, Michelle. Be nice. George, I don't... Grace, your skin is more pale than I imagined. It was like something out of a fairy tale. And why have you never brought her with you to the court? She'd be sure hit. And how old are you? 12 maybe? Now, don't treat the lady like a child. I have you know she's 14. All the more reasons why she'd be out there making friends. The whole court's filled would flip if they knew they had if you had such a gorgeous sister, George. Don't be a broom, my man. Our little angel has been kept inside for personal reasons. Uh-oh, sounds like I've been showing the lady her due to respects. I've yet to properly introduce myself. How rude indeed. Huh? The laughs get her on my nerves. And so did the way George spoke as though I was his property. They looked as they were aspiring me. Made me sick to my stomach. I've been paying enough attention to notice that the man who asked me if I was 12 and arrested them to examine me from head to toe, searching my courage. I was indeed undeveloped for 14, but what did that matter? I didn't want anybody shaped like a means of my mother's. Now then, my lady, a proper greeting. The man got down on one knee before me. For a split second, I didn't comprehend what he was doing. Go on, Michelle, he's waiting. He whispered to my ear. That when it came all back to me, the traditional greeting performed man and woman. Come on, Michelle. Don't tell me to forget what to do. I knew the process. I had the knowledge. Mother taught me the rules, so she procedure. It was just my hands moving from him to a kiss. But I was frozen. The thought of why was this a traditional greeting? Why did I have to go through this? Michelle! That sounds friends, they were still nobility. As wanton on his social divinity, he still had a reputation to maintain. I understood that. As their sisters, it was my responsibility not to do anything that might tarnish either of my brothers' names. Also, by tradition, the man wasn't supposed to actually kiss the woman's hand. The problem would require him to act rather than that which I can handle. The man moved before me gave an uncomfortable chuckle. Took my hand, and then the vague, warm sensation. Moment. What are you? George's eyes. I was going to offer you greeting, my lady. Or is even that a new exception for you? Your innocence is truly precious. I was half a second with throwing a barrage of insults, but I took my tongue and snubbed off instead. What? Michelle, come back here, Michelle. I spent all that time convincing myself I couldn't humiliate my brothers, but now I wouldn't hear a word from it. I had drawn far a bit of attention other people tried to stop me too, but I brushed them all off, marching out of the great hall. Michelle, get back here. So that's how it happened. I feel so dirty. You call that a greeting? No, that was a greeting. No, that was... I'll be taking that. I said, practically swiping a glass of water off the passing waiter's tray. With it, I washed my hand by the window, facing the courtyard. No matter how much water I poured over it, I couldn't resist the sensation of his mouth and hand. So I rubbed it with my sleeve until my skin was bright red. I wanted to feel something else, anything else, even pain. Think before you act, George. What were you doing inviting people like that into our home? I was angry. I had every right to be. He had not performed the proper greeting. Even in jest, he had no business to actually put his lips on my hand. It was not acceptable behavior for an aristocrat. He was a guest. He should have been ashamed. I was angry that had he been disrespectful. No, that was the reason. It wasn't very nice running off like that. Huh? At the sound of the voice, I couldn't turn back. It was something was almost ripped against my back. The man from the great hall grabbed the wrist, spun me around, and pushed me up against the wall. Bittersweet wine wafted from above. What the hell are you doing? I tried a second to get away from him, but that's when reality snuck in. I couldn't do it. All the strength I could muster wasn't enough to make the man budge. My arms were locked in place. I don't think he was especially strong either. He was hard to build like a debtor. I still couldn't move an inch. You got a tongue like my board, my lady. But I know some people have found that these days. Can't say I mind myself. Let go! Had I always been this feeble? My arms truly so worthless I couldn't even escape the bit's grip. But did I have to get stuck with this body? Now, just for clear, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm no monster, I promise you that. Then why are you holding me up against the wall? Because I want a chance to try and woo you. I apologize I made you uncomfortable back there. But the second I laid eyes on you, I know you were a keeper. Don't let go of me. But if I do that, you'll run away. And it's my personal rule to never let go of anything I like. Your brother says you can't go outside, so if I let you loose now, you might never get a chance. I might never get a chance to chat to you again. I wanted to vomit. Apparently, taking my silence for approval, the man perked up and kept going. If you're not accustomed to being around among men, then why not use this as an opportunity to get a familiar? Not have a bad idea if I do say so myself. I think we get along quite well. Besides, I'm a minstrel. Spending some time with me and I'll write you some songs you could possibly run. Get away from me. You really do have that most striking eyes. Makes me want to keep you in the fray after all. With a music like that, I could write the most incredible songs you could ever hear. I said, get back, you creep. That's odd. That one never failed me. The man brought his face just an inch closer to mine and peeped into my eyes. I could feel his hot, wine-stench breath against my cheeks. It gives me chills. I couldn't understand why this was happening to me. Panic confused, my heart was racing. Go try your luck with someone else. I'm not interested. You'll be soon enough, darling. You'll simply never know a man's touch. He drew closer. He was very practical on top of me, but he still closed in. The world faded out. I couldn't see anything. I felt like his rising body eased you. My eyes flung open, but there was nothing there. I could only feel. Oh God. I couldn't move. But I wouldn't budge. In my mind, I kicked the man away, pulled my fists to his jaw. Again and again and again, till his face was unrecognizable. Again and again and again, I beat him. In reality, we don't have any of that. Michelle! Hey, what do you think you're doing? 3 seconds, 10 seconds longer? I had no idea how much time I had lost. Next thing I knew, George had the man by the collar. I fell back up against the wall and started as these two struggled. They traded blows and they traded insults. For a while they had drawn a crown. While they were at it, I distractedly drifted away, and I only had one place to go. I didn't even bother to light a candle. I just stared in the darkness. My heartbeat was mandolin loud in the otherwise silent chambers. What had happened? What had you done to me? Why can't I do anything? Last thing I wanted to do was cry. Tears were certainly worse than my humiliation. How magnificent how wretched I was. One makes me more if I bit down my lip hard. I had no need for trash in my thought. I dug my nails into my arms. No need for trash in my body. All of this, every last bit. That was why I was the way I was. I didn't know how to put it in words. I don't express the boundless frustration within me. But after the world's groaning and slipping from my lips, and it felt incredibly right. God damn it! I knew good and well a girl should not be using such words. Dinner and George would have gotten an earful from mother or father if they were caught saying that. Regardless. God damn it. It's the most fitting word I could come up with to resent even the smallest bit of anger of loathing. I knew all I was doing was shifting the blame. That what accomplished was making me look pitiful. But it would take over the caring, crying like a little girl and day. I let loose a sigh that was halfway tipping and screaming. I started clawing wildly at my hair. wanting to go every last goddamn strand of it. I didn't want it. I didn't want any of it. Any of this body. But in that case, what did I want from my body? Michelle? Hey, Michelle? May I come in, Michelle? It was George's voice, severely muffled in the door. The man invited those people into this house. I would be lying if I didn't hold anything against him. Michelle. At the same time, he also came to my rescue. Besides, I hate myself the most. I despise myself for being so helpless. I'm sorry, Michelle. I didn't mean to hurt you. It's not locked. After a few moments of silence, George stepped into my room. Your hair's a mess, Michelle. Oh my god, you're bleeding! That's when I first noticed the signs, stinging sensation on my lower lips. The metallic taste through my mouth. I've been banging it harder than I realized. There was a lot of blood than I expected. A trail that it was raining down my chin. Seconds of spilling on my clothes alone. When George wiped it away. I'm really sorry, Michelle. He could be a real ass when he drinks. And he's a bit of a womanizer at that. Not expecting to try to go after you, though. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. But, you know, any chance you might have generally taken a liking to you? That just makes it worse! Sorry, you're right. You want to be a man you like, I understand. He ran his hand through my hair as you're trying to calm me down, at the same time trying to clean the mess I made of it. I feel like that I was some kind of plaything. A joke of a doll. I don't want to be with anyone. Would never, ever be comfortable with a man putting his hair on my hands like that. However, I'm sure you'll find someone eventually, Michelle. Someone that feels right for you. I feel kind of awful introducing to him, but there are plenty of men in the world. You may not be interested now, but that will soon change. It's part of growing up. You're best off forgetting today ever happened. I was dead certain, but apparently that was enough to convince him. The very idea that might one day I meet a man who I wanted to touch made my skin crawl. Why? Why did I feel like this? I was not interested in men. No, if that were the case, I would admire my brother's bodies. I didn't have any aversion to men. If I got to spending time with my brothers far more than indulge my mother in her woman's world. But what could I stand to take a look at men when sometimes give me? But why? Why did I not like this? I had no answers. My thoughts were only given to circles. Are you okay, Michelle? He peered down at me, his face twisted in concern. I couldn't answer him. I wasn't supposed to articulate this. My anger, my frustration, my irritation, my fear. Had I confidence he would understand. George? How's Michelle? Amin's voice came from the doorway. I felt like someone had stuck their hand in my chest and was now squeezing my heart like I'd just been caught in a compromising situation with the last person I wanted to see me. Yeah, she's doing good, aren't you? Yes. Fine. Glad to hear it. I was clearly lying, not even looking him in the eyes when I said that, but it seemed to have gone over George's head. Me, on the other hand, you don't look fine at all. She said, a hint of pain in her voice, then entered the room. George, Father was asking for you. He says it's time to bring the gathering to a close. You should get going. I'll stay here with her. Oh, is he? Alright then. Sounds good. Once the sound of George's footsteps faded into something, Ami took a seat beside me without warning, wrapped her arms around my shoulder. It's much better to talk to another girl at times like this. My heart leaped into my throat, but but beyond the shock, I found myself welcoming the warmth. It was pleasant, unlike the man. It must be terrifying. But don't worry. You're safe now. Oh, no, it wasn't really, no. No need to pretend, sweetie. If a man had me pinned on a wall, I'd be scared too. I mean it, I wasn't scared. I'm just disappointed myself. Alright. I believe you. You're a strong girl, Michelle. There aren't many who wouldn't have been scared. I'm sure to give George a stern talking to about his choice in friends. Something I learned today is that he's somewhat of a pushover. You're a lot more tedious than I thought. As a woman in this world, you have to be. If you're not well, you'll figure out soon enough, Michelle. Of course, even as strong as you are, I'm sure I'll still find it difficult to forget what happened to you today. George told me to forget it as soon as possible, and to me, that I wouldn't be able to. Was it the difference between their individual perspectives? Or was it the difference between the way the men and women thought? I wasn't sure. As my head rested again, as my head rested against some rest, I felt more frustration slip out. I couldn't move my arms at all. It didn't even seem strong. I can't believe that I was truly so weak. It's just the way the world is, Michelle. Men are physically stronger than women, so you almost never overpower one. You're not weaker than a normal girl. Don't blame yourself. Though it seemed the consolation I had hoped, the world still filled with warmth. I exploded my weakness to her more than a soothing voice, and alone knew how foolish I was doing so. Okay, so that's how you met the girl. I mean, frequently visit my chambers. I know of his mother's request and old relation, but I prayed it was the latter. She was just a free, touch-feeling person. He seemed particularly fond of playing with my hair. Right, her voice danced to my ears and wreaked havoc inside of me. We get an envelope and sent day after day. She stoked the fire growing within me. I did my best to remain as straight-faced as possible, because the last thing I wanted was her catching on. I understood the things I feelings were untoward, to say the least. Your hair is so utterly enchanting. You've never seen hair so white before. I've never seen it. I think the color is much more prettier. Oh, well, George's white hair is the most difficult color to make with paint. There's no greater challenge than capturing the beauty of true white. That was such a splendid example of colors. Give him a very hard standard of quality. Say, Michelle, could you tell me about yourself today? I would love to know you better. Tell you about myself? Yeah, we become better friends if we find some mutual interests. I enjoy playing chess. I consider myself quite good. Oh my, chess! I never played. Just a bright girl, Michelle. Would you like to try? I can teach you. I push you off, but I think I'll pass. I doubt I'll be any good. What's there? Say, what's your favorite kind of flower? Fragrance, color, or gemstone? There are many embroidery patterns. You can steal that. I don't have favorites, no. I'm not such a good good either. No. Do you have shaky hands then? I would have said that. No, I'm really good with a knife, I think. A knife? Oh, like a kicker's knife. No, it's sculpture. Sculpting? Is that really so strange? It's a bit unusual, I say. But George does it all the time. George got it made of wood chips and charcoal and paint. George is an artist and a man. There's nothing unusual about him doing some sculpting. Why is it okay for not me? Does being a girl really make that much of a difference? Well, why don't we practice everything together, Michelle? I get the feeling you spend too much time with your brothers. But now you have me. I'm sure it'll be long before you appreciate how much fun cooking and needleworking can be. She sounds just like my mother. And she gives me the same reasons too. Because I'm a girl. That's not an explanation. It's a vague generalization. That said, if I agree, I can spend more time with her. Okay. Wonderful. We can come with beautiful designs together. And when you make something you're proud of, you can give it to a boy who catches your eye. Or, if you prefer, we can give it to your father or brother. I'd like George to have what I make, though. Oh, I've been wondering, did you and George be in a royal court? Oh, heavens, no. I've never been to the court. One day my father told me I was getting married. The next day is when we first met. It happened that quickly. What do you worry about, Michelle? Don't worry. I'm not displeased with the arrangement. In fact, I'm quite happy with it. Aristocrat marriages are almost always so. And as a woman, get used to being peace in their gates. But George, he's different. He's a gentleman. A gentleman, him? You sound surprised. He believes suits him better. Oh, I quite disagree. I have complete faith he'll be good by me. I couldn't fathom where she found such confidence in him. Especially a man she only just met. How could she trust him at all? She was nothing but a pawn, and she knew it. She simply was putting on an act. I had trouble believing her smile was anything but genuine, though. One day, you'll meet the right man for you, Michelle. And he won't be drunk like the other guy from earlier. He'll be a kind, hard-working, respectable man. I'd rather not find anyone. I suppose this is all so soon for you, huh? So how old are you, Michelle? 14. Wow, I assumed you were younger. Do I really look that young? No hard feelings. You're just like a tiny little doll. So small and slender. And look, no one bit of meat up there at all. Hey! She prepared for grabbing from behind. I started pounding my chest, and as her delicate fingers slid across my skin, I found myself gripped by very instant urges. Every hefty thump of my heart felt sinful. She couldn't know. I couldn't let her know. Everything but fun to keep it down on the surface. You're so cold. You're so cold. You know that? So he touched me like it was nothing, caressing my hair. Was this intimate with George? Was it that was young girl that she kept putting hands all over me? Before I knew it, I was feeling my body acting as pure impulse. My tits skipped for grip. I just around with them, slowly grabbing free. Sat there flabbergasted. I was quick like, I'm sorry. I was friendly, but so disinterested. I'm sure my face was red as an apple, though I didn't know at the time. Wow, that was certainly unexpected. I'm sorry, did I make you uncomfortable watching yourself? You were smiling like a third. No, not at all. Then I was astounded. I'm sorry, if I let you go sooner, I avoided this accident. What do you mean? I kissed him lips as it wasn't an accident. It wasn't. It seemed you have confused one, Michelle. I know I can be very touchy-feely with you. And you took that to mean you should do the same. No, you can't do that again, right? You want to kiss your friends, do on the cheek. Say that it's for the man you actually don't. Congrats on crack. George gets crack crank if I don't give him another stage. Hey, hold on a minute. So long, Michelle. Watching me find my chambers. That was when I finally got my own wish. She had stolen my heart. But I mean was George's friends. No, that was the problem. It was not meant for love. I woke up in the night in pain in my joints. Not enough exercise, I guess. I tried bending and stretching my arms, but it did nothing. I stepped harder for bed, decided to go for a late night walk to distract myself. Okay? As I approached the corridor, exit the courtyard, I hear a woman's voice. I'm still concerned about you staying here. I'm still concerned about staying here. Amin's voice. Doing best to remain peaceful, quiet. I pitched myself up against the wall by the window and listened to the conversation. I knew it was a problem to eavesdrop, but the sound of her voice had me frozen in place. It's Michelle. I'm afraid I've confused her. She only ran down my spine my most tense. The sound was rising to her lips, but no way I would have liked. She kissed me, well, almost, but how could I have guessed that she thought of me that way? Mother told me she didn't have any female friends, and that's one of her, which is why. So she had only been coming to me because Mother had asked her to. I'd been afraid of that. And that she wasn't there to be with me. That she had no fondness of me. That my uniform was one-sided. She kind of scares me the way she looks at me. Always watching with every little move I make. I'm so sensitive to that sort of thing. I can tell you what's going through Michelle's mind. I may have detected this time, but I should have not have gotten friendly with her. She's seen through me from day one. Understood what I was feeling even before I had. It's disgusting. This game is rated M for mature. Viewer discretion is advised. This takes place in a more fictional world-ish type, but with real-world events. So I'm going to change this wording a little bit. If you feel this game is M-rated, so you've been warned already, it's weird. Sexuality? Did I hear right? Something inside me crumpled, and with it came an intense sense of wrongness. There it was again. The overpowering discomfort. The fear coursing through my veins. That repulsion. The irritation. The apprehension. What on earth was I? Did I view me as a member of the same sex? Or the things I felt homosexual? I heard me sigh from beyond the window. The man beside her, which she could find with all this, replied, "She's still just a child." That voice. And one with the undeveloped social skill besides. Understood that she's doing do and say some appropriate things. It's uncommon for a child to make mistake admiration for love. And I don't know this until recently. When she gets something into her head, she just tends to run with it without thinking. It's not the man I had assumed it was. The other day, she asked me to let her be a knight. I can't imagine she thought of him in any other way. Why? It's not very often there are women other than mother that they stay. I imagine she simply gets nervous being around me again. Something got mixed up in her head. I was there outside with her. I hope this is all it was. I mean, I told you. You thought George was a gentleman. So what are you doing getting so familiar with Data. And Data, weren't you my ally? Was I don't act like her? You were going to be a knight. So why are you with our brother's fiancé? I'm glad to have you here. Still hope we can figure out something else that can work. I'll do what I can, but and I'm kind of reluctant to say this to you, but something has to change. And it is, she kind of grossed me out. Grossed me out. So what? I was some kind of sickness, disgusting creature. All I had to do was, all I'd done was show feelings for her. I couldn't be George or Dinner. Explore. But in size and number. Soon I was being scared by a dozen of them, and they heated sized rains from the courtyard only to serve to make the pain worse. All I could do was cover my ears and run. Why? What are you doing up there, Dinner? How am I gross and mean? It's not real. It's a whole bunch of lies. This entire house is nothing but a fraud. None of it was ever real. The family gatherings, Amia's smile, Dinner's kindness, George. What about George? Did he agree to the marriage knowing about them? What the hell were they thinking? You know, you want to know what's really disgusting? God damn it. I will not cry. I will not cry. I cannot let myself cry. Girls cry. Tears are for girls, not for me. Bit hard my lip, wrap myself in my sheets, and pressure my hands over my ears. Squeeze my eyes shut that I couldn't imagine. Tired to get away from things I've seen. Imagine them embracing the night, threatening to flock back to the surface. But I shook my head, casting them aside, praying I wouldn't have any nightmares. I drifted off to sleep. Fade to black. The next day, or some time later. The next day I woke with a terrible fever. I however was wondering if fear he unable to tell a dream and reality, or partly due to seemingly empty streams of crackling noise. The sounds were coming from my body. I thought I was falling apart. My mother was probably worried. I never have been the most healthy child, but I'd never fallen this ill either. I couldn't get out of bed. My voice was raspy like an old woman's. I was genuinely afraid of rather wither away and die. They called a doctor after doctor. They all said it was the flu. The bodily pain was common with fever. Well, there was a doctor in the house, but Mother was able to remain relatively calm. Once they were gone, the anxiety came back. She stayed with me day and night, even forging sleep. And forgetting. Her hands gripped mine, they held me fast. She held her head bowed as if prayer. Don't worry. I'll break you, Michelle. God's watching over you, and He'll be protecting you. Alright. You are His children. You are His angels sent to earth. He will not forsake you. The doctor says it's just the flu. Although her words seemed to be directed at me, there was a vaccine for us, as if they were really for herself. So long she wanted a daughter. I could understand her fixation, but seeing her through with my cloudy eyes, I wanted to apologize for everything, thinking spending time with her was agonizing. How are you feeling? Your mother's here for you, don't worry. The only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gas. I drifted in and out of sleep with his hand around my arm, and I had numerous dreams. In my dream I was a man. In my dreams I was Darren, and I was George. In my dreams I fell in love with me. In my dreams I loved him. You're disgusting. But with one word, dreams twisted to nightmares. My body was torn to fleshy checks. It sunk into darkness. Several days later, my fever was gone, like it never happened before. However, what the? My voice did not recover. When I did decline from my bed, the murderous pain in my joints came crashing back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. My voice was unbelievable. The pain only got worse. Every time I took a breath, I felt like someone's hammer would spike to the back of my neck. I felt like my body was falling apart, like my dreams were becoming reality. Michelle! Michelle! My mother screamed to my cheeks. I remember the time bedside and a wave of relief came over me. I reached my hand out and showed no vulnerability. She didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother. What? What's wrong with your voice, Michelle? I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michelle? I looked restrained in fear. Mother stepped towards me, placed her hand on my forehead. Her palm felt hot against my skin. You don't have a fever. But it hurts. But it hurts all over. My joints. You're still sick, Michelle? Don't worry about it. You'll be fine in no time. Now back to bed with you. You're a girl, so you should be sitting on the floor. It's bad for your back. What? I'm gonna please your face, you're a girl again. That nagging sense of something was quite right was more distracting. Was I really sick? Was this my actual voice now? And if it was I turning into my voice? It's certainly not a girl's voice. My voice no one back to normal though. So mother ordered me to remain in my rooms. I hadn't recovered yet, so as long as I was sick, I could be let out. Again, nothing was calling about a sickness, but I was the contrary. And I wanted to know what couldn't go other sick if I wouldn't get other sick if I exposed them, as she claimed, so I had no choice but to do so, she said. In time, mother stopped visiting me, and the only person I saw were servants. They did their job, but refused to look me in the eye. No one came to see me, though. Not a me, Ditter, George. 1 month passed, then 2, then 3. Occasionally, pain my joints would withdraw, and other times it would be worsened. Whenever I drifted off to sleep, I could hear the sound of my own joints creaking. I would dream of a woman standing in the courtyard. Her soft chestnut hair flooded in the wind as she twirled to face me. A smile on her face and her breast exposed. One day, after around 6 months, servants refused to keep an eye contact. I stopped one and made a request to have a mirror brought to my room. Well, I didn't acknowledge me the next day. I had my mirror. By that point, I felt like something new was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because no one miscolored dress hanging in my wardrobe fit me anymore. But when my heavy red clothes covering me with my mirror scale, my completely naked body came to view. Something resembles a mix of a chuckle sigh and a pity spilled from my lips. This is me. 6 months. The only 6 months I could hardly recognize myself. I traced the outline of my body in reflection. My shoulder lacks mother's curve, and my skin a mean sheen. I was pale and haggard, but structurally, looked like my brothers. Obviously, being younger than them, I'm not as attractive. My muscles lack any kind of strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a sword. I was full-headed, taller than I'd been 6 months earlier, and I felt odd, certainly, that I wasn't done growing either. Staring myself in the mirror, I traced my name across the surface. Michelle. Don't need the last two. Michael. Mikel. For the first time in my life, I like my name. I didn't think an ancient name suited me one bit. But staggering how different it felt now. even if I sounded exactly the same. Those last two letters changed the meaning entirely. Turning from a girl's name to a boy's name. Now this makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My aberration for dinner, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feelings I had for him, the insane dreams I've been having. I was waiting. I cracked like a fool for the first time in my life. Not so hard myself, my stomach. The first time I glimmer of light, it seemed the lock room far too long. This was what I was supposed to do. My life up until 6 months ago, restricted and comfortable. Life of a girl was all a lie. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. I was a boy, but I've been told I was a girl, forced to act like one. Of course, that would feel. They need to know. I can't be the only one who understands. Everyone's house needs to know. Feel by one side, grab the sheet from my shoulders and the door. It's really how long I followed my instructions to remain occupied in my room. Now I felt fantastic. There truly was God in heaven. This change was his answer to my prayers. The man sure carried a tree of fruit that double tipped past him. My father perceived that the world was more on his front lawn. The midday sun shone, rushing right to the windows. But now, with his piercing radiation and looking at proper self, with an odd inflection from the light. Here the family gathered in the great hall. The voice complained about the same simple meals that the church provided, but his pride came through his laughter. George's voice playful bragged until left the royal court. Fathers informed everyone his involvements by born fruit and animal pursuit. Mother was told this one less bright that was failing vague. Empty intention was still listening to immensely stay out of the conversation. His voice sang praise for George, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact she was looking there. It was all facade, a mere shadow thing. If you're saying Michelle could be here, then we would have had everyone. I was right there. Had a gun in her. You just locked me in my room. I hope she recovers soon. I was never sick at all. Hey Charlie, you call Michelle? Exactly, your son. That was all there was to it. Huh? What? Everyone gazed and contracted. I gave them all a quick glance, and then with my deep voice I said, I'm cured. I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely, you haven't forgotten my face, have you? Father? Michelle? Michelle? This boy's Michelle? Mother went pale, father objected, Didder stared, George graped, and we watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones wrong with the sight I was a girl. What's going on? Does someone tell me what's the meaning of this? You were dressing your son up like a girl, Mother? I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put my hands around him like that. You lied to me. You lied to me. I would have never agreed to have him. No, you're wrong. Michelle's my daughter. You call that a girl? All these months I was worried because he was sick? That was a lie. You couldn't pass him off a girl anymore. So you locked him up in his room? Is that what it is? And now, you could just stay there? What possessed to show yourself now? Stop that. Don't give me that. You said you could tell what's going through your mind, didn't you? What? Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be dumbfounded, full of yourself. I I have no interest in a whore like you. So why don't you cry into Data's arm? You! What? Huh? Hey, what are you talking about? What? Why, Data? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone will explain that for me? What had only been a nice family meal was now utter chaos. For the briefest moment, I felt George's but that whisper away almost immediately. There was a crash on the table and it just fell shattered against the floor. Cursed? A child knows the floor. She's cursed. She was my daughter, I thought she was. Hey, brother, she was a girl. Michael was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A love of curse has been placed upon her. Mara lifted her head and I definitely believe that the same woman has bathed my bedside and has laid sick. Sacrificing sleep. Take care of me. Her hair was fizzling mess and deep crease on her face. Restrain her. Throw her in her room and lock the door. She's a girl. A girl. She was a girl, I swear. Open your eyes. Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? The cry sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheet off my shoulder and threw it on the floor. I am not a girl. Shut up. Ow! Restrain her, please someone restrain her. Fear regained the great hall, but then several moments later of silence were broken by a muttering that shocked me as anyone else. You're not a boy or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination. You're not a boy, you're an abomination. I'm a what? So why? There's nothing there. I look like a boy. I'm still a girl. I was prepared for that. I felt the sounds. She's a girl. She's my daughter. She was a girl. His mother wailed away off the sofa. Father stood there and son. We son. George was still panicked and did her clench his face. Eventually started. My sinners, who made me into her curse. Was once more caged to my room. I received no physical except for the servants, and again, none of them would look at me in the eye. Every day the same, day in, day out. The only time routine changed was when an occasional servant would arrive bearing a letter. The Padre. We lived the same life, yet she refused to show herself, behave herself. I had no choice to respond to her letters. She demanded to speak like a girl, and I'd have the strength to do that. There was a consistent sense of urgency to her letters, that she might fall apart completely on any side. And so I did she did. I signed each letter, Michelle, the female nature was so blindly oppressed, which I despised. Every time you say name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. On paper she expressed a concern for me, but the only concern served to cause more pain. So every time I took off my quill, my hands trembled. Mother. Pray dare that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Am I cursed? With this one my body changed. Why is it not? Because I was male? There's nothing else. What does she mean by that? What does she let to look at me like the way she did? How am I an abomination? Why? I don't understand. Someone, anyone, please tell me. Someone, please. I brought you supper. I'll back shortly to retrieve your dishes. I'll be going then. Wait. What? Wait a minute. Yes? What do you need, Michelle? Are you a man or a woman? Bart? Which are you? I'm exactly what I appear to be. Which are you? I am a man. If that's all, I'll be going now. Clothes off. What? Take off your clothes right now, everything, and even your underclothes. What? Surely you just met Michelle. I'm very serious. I could possibly. Why not? I could not expose myself. I ordered to take off your clothes. You mean to humiliate me? Please reconsider. What are you? A son of the Bolliger's state? And what am I? Am I a child of Bolliger? I've been locked members in this room, but that doesn't mean make you less any servant. Am I wrong? Clothes off. Shall I ordered to have your clothes. Interesting. We could dream. Lance didn't appear much different than me. It's like, Land, though, I found my answer. If I wanted the thing he had that I didn't have. Why? My lower back, my body lacked a part. The man, that made a man a man. Are you satisfied, Michelle? Before a young Belliger daughter. You still insist on calling me damn girl? Look at those shoulders. Look at my chest. Listen to my voice. I got a positive thing look like anything that belongs to a girl. For you to be doesn't in the manservant's eyes, no one can respect a different rank. But something before him, those trembling eyes, reality dangling there before me. Blew the lid once more. Everything had been spoken holding back. Without that, you'd be no different than me. What? Everything else is all the same. So why does it make it such a difference? That you have one and I don't. Michelle, I am a man. I am a man just like you. I am no one's daughter. If you still insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like me. Huh? Without that, you're no different than me. It was a mix of dread and pain that pushed me over the edge. As I wanted to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another pain. Please don't, Michelle. In blind frenzy, I hardly even aware what I was doing. I just ran the current of my emotion. Stepped on off the train the man had brought, knock him down, and climb onto him. Get rid of it. I'll make you the same. Without it, just be like me. Get off me, please. Someone else. I'll make you just like me. You're someone, anyone. Michelle. She's hilarious. Doesn't manservant stare down at me? Well, looking at me with vacant eyes. Mother. Why? Why only speak me through letters? Why do you say I'm cursed? Mother, I'm a male. I was always a male. Tell me that I am, Mother. Let me out of here, please. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I am normal. There's nothing wrong with me. I am not cursed. Mother, say something. Mother! The ouch in my room again. Even the servants stopped coming. Pushed and shoved and I pulled all my strength, but the door would budge. A day passed and then another. No food and water. Sort of fearing death was upon me. I had no idea how miserable it was going to be without water. My throat was dry and cracking. 2 days. 48 long hours. I felt I was going to lose my mind. After just 2 days, my skin stretched looking hard and dry and soft skin-like. Water. I need water. Someone please give me water. Why wouldn't anyone bring me? Why? My family had abandoned me, leaving me to die in this room. When I realized that, I began to uncontrollably shake. The helplessness threatened to suffocate me. The fear of death turned to panic with only stumble across towards my confused mind further. I grabbed a chair, swinging it towards the window of the door. And it crushed the furniture failure. Anyone? I crawled to the door, begging for help. Someone please open. Anyone! Water, I need water. One drop, that's all I need. gonna die here. Someone, anyone, mother, father, Did it, George? Someone open the door, please help me. Someone, I need water. My throat hurts, it burns. I'm so weak. Some water. Did it, George? Anyone? Not a single soul came to the door. No food. Well, third day came when, and then the fourth. At that point, I was expected devoid of sensibility. At that point, covered all manners of human filth. Still, I clung to the vain hopes that someone would open the door. It was all that I had. Occasionally, I would hear footsteps when I did, or the manager they had to bang on the door. So I was there. Please open the door. I'm begging someone. Piece of devil. There, they didn't. There, though they didn't respond to me, I could hear the elegance running the other door corner. Did you hear that? Yeah, I did. I know what's gone to Lady Michelle. They say she was cursed. Maybe she sold her soul to the devil. How dreadful. We should stay away from that door. But then we could be cursed too. I am not cursed. I did not sell my soul to the devil. I'm kind of scared. I might have to find some work elsewhere. Gotta make sure we stay away from that door. Why do you think I'm cursed? I never did anything wrong. Lady Michelle lost her mind. She's deranged. I'm scared to even think about her. I'm not deranged. My mind is perfectly fine. She's right crazy. She's right man. No, I'm not. Someone, get me out of here, please. The fifth and the sixth day passed. By that point, I was over the door and death brink. And lacked even the willpower to hold myself up against the door, so I lay on the cold floor waiting for the end. I felt no sorrow, no anger, no despair, nothing. I've been stuck completely dry. I couldn't even possibly close it. Which is why when the door opened, I had to swing. She did. My God, what a mess. Hey, are you still alive? Well, look at that. I was afraid you thought he'd be dead. It was Amin's voice. At least she's somewhat kind. I'm sorry, really. I didn't mean you much harm. But after what you said from the whole family, I was a little upset. Well, the Sims are afraid of you now, after your little episode. So I volunteered to bring you food in their place. Everyone was so grateful. I don't think anyone likes you anymore. Eventually my muddy mind managed to make sense of the thing she was holding in her hands. A tray of food. I could smell it from her. At first I just gave food to the stray cat. I wish... What? I don't know. Though what? I just didn't know. So I'm really sorry about that. But you're alive. There's someone so physically weak, you're so tenacious. Still nice. You have one thing you'll be proud of. Water. Is that water? You want water? Hold on, I got some right here. A grin spread across her lips. And then she let go. Go on, drink. Ah, man, they're all a piece of shit now. Then drink. In that moment, I heard the sound of the last of my dignity crumbling away. Driven solely from my survival instinct, I bent down towards the rug. Ah, you really did it. This is too good, Michelle. You're like a cat. No, cats are much more graceful. I can't stop laughing. The daughter of a prestigious family. The Bollinger, sucking water out of a carpet. I wish I had a pen to catch this canvas. So you know, I accept that I made a mistake, Michelle. I promise to bring you food from now on. I'll take very good care of you. This is gonna be fun. Understood. I was plaything now. My hell was just beginning. We got a food of water, my body recovered somewhat. I was hardly in peak condition, though. That would take some time to how badly demolished I had been. Getting treated like a peg, constantly stuck at the flame for rage within me. I was too weak to stay on my feet for long, and talking hurt my throat. I assumed it was a delicate effort for a part of maintaining power over me, to keep me in a miserable position. She always had a smirk on her face when she gazed down at me. Come on, open up. Today I'm gonna feed you myself. What's the matter? I can't put anything in your mouth. Or do you want to starve to death? Me? Why are you doing this? Why? Because it's fun. Why else? You married into this family, you sick wench. What gives you the idea to treat me? What are you saying because I'm married in? I'm a lesser stature than you. That's true I am. But what's your point? You think you can intimidate with your formalities? I'm mean. You, I'd rather not speak my name if you don't mind. That doesn't excuse your treatment of me. So what? Did George make you pay for this? You don't have a single friend here, you're Mike, Michelle. No one to take your side, and no one can say a thing about me playing with you. If you somehow were able to tell someone, no one will believe you. It's a lie. Do you have any idea what people say about you? They say you've gone mad. They say you said soul to the devil. Did you honestly believe anyone would trust you? I'm not mad. I don't know, you look plain mad at me. Gah. Fine, then I'll run away. I'll escape from the state and from you. You think you can survive out there in the world with that body? A stray cat can fit lift more than you. You'll never find work. You get a bit. You can't be sure of that. Maybe I could make it on my own. Maybe either way, there's no way you're getting out. If you try to run, someone might just cut off your leg. How's that? Is that necessary? Don't ask me. Maybe because your curse hasn't broken. You know, you're lucky you're allowed to live. And so you should be grateful for volunteering to take care of you. No one else wanted to have anything to do with it. So if you want to keep living, you have to show me some respect, and I'll do everything I'll tell you. Understood? So, this is the real you. You would just pretend to be respectable. But in reality, you're the only one sleeping with dinner. You're just downright vile, woman. You're just putting an act ever since you got here. Oh, you make it sound like I'm somehow worse than anyone else? I'm quite normal, thank you. How is this normal? Listen to me, Michelle. The side of me you're seeing right now isn't necessarily the whole thing. The sweet girl of the family is also me. And when I held you in my arms, that too was me. Am I putting on an act? Liar. Oh, to tell the truth, I never actually liked you, so that's the part was a lie, yes. If your mother hadn't asked, I would have never even considered getting friendly with you. Me. You know, life as a noble woman is so dull. It's so restrictive. No room for love at all. So can you really blame me? There's just so happened. There's had to be the most wonderful night right there for the taking. Why, should I have gone after him? I'm still young. Let me have some fun, you know. Not like women. How much else in way of recreation? So it wasn't this dinner. But you who's to do to him. And it all would have worked out so beautifully too. If you haven't kept your mouth shut, you ruined our family gathering and damaged my reputation. And you called me a whore? And you called me a whore! It wasn't very nice, you know, wasn't it? It isn't surprised I'm a little sore. You brought this on yourself, Michelle. I brought this on myself. How dare you? Nothing justifies what you're doing to me. I'm too disturbed one. You're crazy. And you try to pretend otherwise? Damn you. Oh my, such language. You're not being nice to me, Michelle. Girls aren't supposed to talk like that, you know. I'm not a girl. Then who are you? I am a man. A man, with that body? I mean, quietly, Rose. Grabbed me by the hair and shoved me to the floor. Let go of me. You call yourself a man? You came to get out of a girl's grip. I'm not that strong either. In fact, I say I'm rather weak. You're a small, powerless girl. If you were a man, you have no problem breaking free or otherwise. You can't get trace the lines of my red to the nails, tracing slowly downwards. But Eva ignored the missing one important part. Stop, get off me. Sure, I shoved her several strength to squeeze out of her butt. As being said, I couldn't get over a girl's power. All I could do was lie there beneath her bag. Get off me. Anger, frustration. Moriya's keen to just stop above my neighbor. She looked up at me with a sweet smile, then pulled her hand away. With such a wave of release spread through me. She shoved me back up and jumped. I slammed her foot between my legs. I showed the pain and showed my pain. God. Me locked down on me and I screamed. I smirked her across the face. Oh my, does that hurt? There's a surprise. Even without boy parts, it still hurts. Yeah, jeez, it's gonna hurt regardless. So stop, please. She didn't stop at stepping on me. Beg you, stop, please. She dug her toes into my flesh. What are you exactly, Michelle? From the feel of it, you don't have a proper girl parts either. I mean, please. On top of the physical pain, unbearable humiliation, and shame roared away from my spirit. What a strange creature you are. Stop. Even if I could have died right then and there, honestly, that would have been preferable to the emotional hell she's been putting me through. Just look at me yourself, Michelle. You're crying, sobbing like a little girl. How much boy are you? You lust after me with this body? You're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me. I mean, abuse was not a one-time coincidence. She had a promise that she could feed me every day. But her eye brought nothing but anguish and torture. Every day she took away my spirit. But I hadn't succumbed to her yet. My anger so overpowered any fear I had felt. After about a week, me started caring. You been a good girl, Michelle? I brought you supper. I'll sit right here for you. What's the matter, Michelle? Your food's right there. It's getting pretty cold. Go on, eat. But no using your hands. Crawl over and use your mouth. Come on, eat. Or would you rather I fed you? What's that? Do you have something to say? I guess no word to say, Michelle. If you would eat, you would have to eat. You have enough strength to talk. Huh? I'm going to kill you, bitch! That was, I believe, the first time in my life I have felt a sincere, overpowering desire to end someone's life. I want to see her dead, with my hands and legs tied up, and lurch for her. And like the dog she wanted me to be, I jumped her down by her wrist. The taste of someone else's blood was far more unpleasant than I had expected. I felt like I was going to vomit. I was determined to let her go for a twisted for any reason. I gnawed and gawed through her bones and ripped her entire hand off. She could bet someone unconscious. She could beat me unconscious, and I still want to go. She would have to kill me to get me off her. I wanted to feel the pain I felt when she just trampled me. Let go. My body never did what I wanted to do, though. I could swear on my life I never wanted to release her arm, but I could never seem to be good at any determination. I mean, his foot fell up to my end gut. Before the tip of her shoe dug into my flesh like a knife, I collapsed to the floor of the fit of conscience, and just as I was about to cough off some acid, she ran her foot into my abdomen a second time. She didn't give me enough time to get my own feet. She let alone fight back before she kicked me again. And again and again and again. Stop. My gut, my chest, my face. What's wrong with you? Don't you get it? You know how to control you. You should be thanking me. What you did to me that day was incredibly hurtful. Yet here I am bringing you food. can you just see just how kind-hearted I am? So, why would you go and bite me? Why would you possess you to do such a thing? Gasping for breath, my conscience slipped away from me. I caught a glimpse of Mia's eyes as she swung her leg back into the cake, and when I did, a single word rose to my mind. Demon. Isn't there something you can't even stand up to a girl? I'm not that strong. I'm weak and frail. The first time I ever kicked someone, I have absolute control of you, Michelle. You understand that right now. You learned your lesson, didn't you? I don't have the strength to remain within me. My tongue and cheeks would turn up in my mouth and taste of blood. Thinking of herself weak and having experienced in ways of physical violence, she didn't know restraint. The ignorance can be so much more brutal and vicious. Well, that's the second season. A vision had gone red. I could hardly feel my own face. There was a strange gurgle sound with every breath I took. Ah, jeez, what am I doing about this hand? It hurts like crazy. Oh, I know. I'll tell her finally you lost it. You ain't trying to bite off my hand. They all feel so bad for me. I can just see the looks on Dinner George's face. They will not. You know your brothers have completely given up on you. A deranged sister is nothing but trouble. You know what you are, Michelle? You're a demon child. Why? Was I the demon? And not her? Why? No one. They come to my aid. Several times considering my life. By my time, memories of better days came back to me. The time before my body had transformed, the days when we were all sure of our happiness kept me chained to life. Why couldn't things still be the way they'd been before? In my heart, I hadn't changed at all. So that things ended up like this. Oh, Michelle! Oh, Michelle! Are you in here? Did you need something, George? Oh, come on, don't be like that. Do I need something to talk to you about? No, but you look like you're in a usually good mood, so I thought, oh, well, why wouldn't I be? It's a wonderful gloomy day. I would understand if it were clear out, but you can't really say it's wonderfully gloomy. Well, you can't be outside for very long when it's not cloudy, so in your case, this is perfect weather. Why don't we take over a little stroll while we can? And Dee's around today too, so we can see what's up for him for that. It'll be like old times. We're running along like headless chickenless lately, so we haven't much time for chances for something else. We have Mom because lunch, and then we'll take a couple horses off the forest edge. I'm fine with that with you are. You bet your bum I am. I asked after all. Oh, come on, let's go. Okay, 3 hours, 54 minutes in. Let's call it a here. Oh boy, that was long. We learned a lot today. That's great. It's good. Getting good. 7th door. And we're still learning some great big exposition dump. Holy crap, who knew that Michelle went through all that torturous life before she came Michael? Oh, Jesus Christ, that was something else. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Soundtrigger45. Thank you for joining me in this episode. If you stuck with me this long, good job, good for you. If not, that's fine. But holy crap, that was interesting story bits that we have seen here. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, until we get back to the House of Fata Morgana, who knows what more tales we'll have right now. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one. Peace out.